What's up, everyone? This is Bricks and Bytes live from Contech Connect in Paris. It's getting quite hot in here. I don't know about you, Lisa, but it's kind of buzzing here.
It's very buzzy in here. I walked in and it was a packed crowd around the first keynote, obviously. So there's a lot of people interested in this space. I've always loved it, but I think everybody found it now.
Yeah, for sure. And look, we are live, so everything and anything that could go wrong will go wrong. The sun is about to burn me, and I forgot my sun cream, so I'm hoping someone will get me a hat.
Yeah. But I will be long gone by then. Yes.
It'll be good. Okay, Lisa, look, we have roughly 15 minutes or so. We're going to be back-to-back for people for the next 3 hours. Combination of people working in go-to-market on the startup side of things, people on the corporate side, people on the investment side, and lots of diversity of conversation today. So, look, enough of the intro, let's get into this. Lisa, 15-second introduction. After 15 seconds, I'm going to cut you, so go for it.
Okay, Lisa Kelly, Contech, go-to-market. I should have this down good. I spend all my time thinking about how to help other people make money and talk about their companies, so I don't talk about myself. So I love this industry and innovation. Everything is about intentional outbound. So I work on the sales, marketing. I've worked at multiple tech companies, and now I'm doing short-term stints, all the startup world. Love working with founders. I think anybody with great technology and a hardworking team can be successful in this industry if they focus.
Nice. So why is go-to-market so damn hard in construction tech?
What if it's not? Maybe it's not hard.
And lie to me.
Right? Boom. Yes. It does not have to be hard. I think the number one thing that happens is that people try to solve for too many problems, especially with the startups. They get one company on the hook, and that company starts to scope creep and feature dump and starts to push them, and they want to be people-pleasing. Or you get a board that asks for a lot of logos, and it's hard for them to stay and say what I say, sell the apples on the cart. Like, if you have apples, apples are great. They have lots of benefits. And somebody will say, well, what if you also add oranges? They have vitamin C, be nice variety. It's just a fruit, right? It's so similar. No, but you have to plant the seed, and you have to grow it, and you have to nurture it. You have to build the pipeline. You have to do code. You have to do UI and UX, and you have to market it and do everything like that. So one of the things is that, especially on the startup side, it's hard for them to stay disciplined because they're so desperate for the money and the clients. The second thing is onboarding, usage. It's just a hard industry to get people to use things. And there's no loyalty when it comes to technology, because there was no loyalty to a dumpster company. There was no loyalty to a concrete company. It's not an industry that is used to being loyal and using the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah,
so we're asking them to change a lot of behavior. And now we've thrown, there's 40 booths here today. We've thrown so much at them that they're like, stop. But I believe if you're focused and you get into the right specific area, like car washes, you're going to be very successful.
Yeah, stay focused. Do you have any thoughts on like shortening construction tech sales cycles? I don't want to lead the question. I have a bad habit of doing this, but I ask this question to nearly everybody, and nobody seems to know. So I'm hoping someone one day will have the magic answer.
Okay.
Shortening sales cycles in construction tech. How do we do it?
It literally is just about finding the right customer. It is. If you find the right person, everybody has one story where they had somebody do it, but then they looked in the other direction and they tried to get something else. They sold to a somebody building a solar field, and then they sold to somebody building backyard pools, and they're wondering why the third type of thing they're selling is not going very fast. It's like, you should have just stuck with the one thing. Once you do that, I can't say it enough. There's enough business in one area. There's enough business in grocery stores. There's enough business in rapid bridge replacements. Whatever it might be, not data centers, because everybody's going after data centers. Can we stop with the data centers? Yes, I get it. There's a lot.
Yeah, so exciting. Yeah. If in doubt, just put data center in it.
I would love for somebody just to work with me directly, and let's prove that out. But they have to follow everything that I say. and they have to be, and we'll find the right target market. Your target market is not project managers of the ENR 400. That's not a target market. That's like making hats for everybody with heads.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah, I get it.
be a project manager for shoe stores or something, yeah.
For companies who are looking to break into the construction techs or the construction industry in the US, coming over from Europe, we're in France right now, so on point here. Like, what advice do you give them?
Hire me.
Aside from that one.
Okay, aside
This is why
from
you
that
work
one,
in sales.
Okay, right, yeah. Too heavy? Okay. You don't come to the US. You come to Ohio.
Okay, expand.
You don't go to Europe. You go to Germany. So the biggest mistake people make is trying to come to the US. And also, don't just land on the coast. If you just went to Tennessee and you had Nashville and Memphis and Knoxville, you have 3 mid-sized markets that you could test things in. There's a lot of general contractors based out of Minnesota. There's a lot of general contractors based out of Alabama. If you were to focus on something, they're not the ones people think of. And you're going to have to work local. But that's the number one mistake people make, is not equating how large it is and how different it is everywhere. I think that's the first part of it.
So really understanding the market that you're going after, picking one.
Pick one.
After. Is there like a particular state or place people pick? And I ask this because nearly everyone I speak to says target Texas.
Yeah.
Is that your answer?
No. No. Because Dallas and Austin are very different. And also, Texas is great if you're going to do like industrial things, if you're going to do energy projects, but if that's not your market, then don't go there. If your market is multifamily residential, maybe go to St. Louis, Salt Lake City, Portland, Oregon. Like, find the places where the expansions are happening. We had a lot of movement in the U.S. during and after COVID, and people expanded out from the cities a little bit more than they had in a while. And what that meant was that wastewater treatment plants that used to be fine needed to be retrofitted. Utilities needed to be upgraded. So there are certain areas, again, it's about the target market. And when you find that, you will know where the warehouses are being built or where the manufacturing is being built, and go to maybe 3 to 5 U.S. markets, like max, like that, and test that out. I wouldn't try to go after the same thing that everybody else goes after.
Yeah, okay, cool, very nice. So, like, thinking about, I want to keep another European question in here. Obviously, Europe, we have Contech Connect where we are. We have the International Contech Network, which is a growing thing. Contech France, you have Barcelona Hub. I don't know if there's a UK version. Maybe there's an opportunity there. And then in the US, you have Contech Alliance. And I know you do some stuff with Contech Alliance as well. Built Worlds, ENR, that kind of thing. Would you say that the US ecosystem is more mature? And dare I say it, or is it just louder?
I mean, it's definitely louder, but that's irrelevant to the question. I think that there's a lot of interesting things happening, like Kira Hub out of Finland. I mean, they have like 130 members of companies, so there's a lot of very interesting things happening there. Peru, they have a conference there in December that's all around Contech. So some of it is maybe just the loudness, not the maturity. But I will say that the majority of the world is still looking at Contech, and they don't even use the word Contech as BIM. There are BIM organizations globally, and there are green building organizations globally. So that's where it started in the US, maybe 15, even 20 years ago, was BIM and then green building. So I don't think it's matured to all the kinds of technology in an organized manner all over the world. But the US is certainly not alone, because there are things like the Barcelona Contech Hub. They're in Ukraine, they have a Contech cluster.
We'll be speaking to them later,
There's a lot of interesting things happening where people are finally able to, it takes a lot to be able to pull the different groups together. Nobody does these as their full-time job. Everything Contech Alliance is all volunteer. So for us to try to get together and talk best practices, but I don't think it's necessarily bigger in the US. I think that some people are still in the BIM and green building and haven't moved to the robotics, AI, and everything else level.
Yeah. I guess I'll keep trying. Okay, we're all good. We got a few more minutes. One more question, and I have a small challenge for you. What would you say that every construction tech founder needs to hear in 2026 that nobody's telling them? By the way, these are such broad questions. If anyone ever asked me a question like this, I would just be like, what the hell? But it makes for pretty good content occasionally.
Yeah. I still think that it's about if you're the founder, you created a company for a reason that you saw. And you need to follow that reason all the way to the end. And you might pivot and need to be flexible about that, but don't listen to every person who's giving you advice. People who have been extremely successful in technology or building any business listen to themselves. So it's an incredibly hard thing, founding a company, and then it's hard to scale a founder and scale a company. And I think it's super important to know either before you found it or early stages, who are your people outside of the industry that are going to feed you when everything is difficult, when the industry is piling on. Mm-hmm. So I think that we talk a lot about business, but we don't talk about maintaining the founder. And I think that maintaining the founder is really key. And the founder needs to be responsible to know that they've got a network of people around them that knew them well before they founded it, that they trust, that can be their soundboard just about how they're feeling about things. Because everybody's going to have business opinions. And it can very easily get distracted. And people will say, if you add this feature, we'll order 1 million of
them. Add the oranges to the apple cart?
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 minute then, right, so here's the challenge. We have a bunch of Lego in front of you.
Yes.
You get 1 minute to just put some Lego together. You don't have to build the final sculpture. The idea is that by the end, everyone would have added something to it, and we'll have this architectural masterpiece from the ecosystem, which I don't know what we'll do with after, but maybe go in the Bricks and Bytes Museum. So let me get the timer up.
I'm getting started.
And for the camera crew, if you could just zoom in on the Lego here, so we can see what what Lisa's attempt looks like. Right, you got 1 minute, go now.
Do I have to say anything? Legos are great. The colors have changed since I was a kid.
Yeah, I know, Joyce. I've got a whole bag of 1,000 pieces down here. Which, by the way,
somebody's going to look at this and be like, "This is the most."
You've done a great job, by the way. I have no idea again what I would do if someone asked me this question.
I mean, I feel like tall is important to me right now. I don't know why. I'm just grateful they still have all of these random shapes that I can play with.
1 minute. Okay, time is up.
I know, I feel like I'm
That's a good
in a
start.
race.
Can you give us some commentary what you were thinking?
Yeah, so definitely, weirdly, I like to match up different colors.
I would never guessed.
I know, right? And also I wanted height, but I wanted something that people could walk through. Maybe I'm a little inspired by Paris. I mean, we are in Paris.
Ah.
Yeah.
The beginnings of the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, no, it's more of an arc.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got you. Okay, cool. All right, Lisa.
Well, since you didn't know what it was, I didn't do it.
I'm planning to get a selfie with everyone here today, so give me your best pose. Okay, we're all good. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me. Good luck.
I know, I'm gonna burn.
I know. Do we need to find you an umbrella?
Someone's gonna try and find me a hat. Find me a hat.
Construction that we are to make believe that the climate change is already happening. It's already happening. So and you know that our industry is a lot of contaminant industry. So we need to do something about that. I think we are late, but anyway.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, look, Paco, Barcelona Contech hub leader, work for the international Contech network as well. Can you give us a 15-second introduction into exactly what you do?
What we do in a hub, you mean?
Just generally what your role is day to day, what you're exploring.
Okay, yeah, I've been an entrepreneur all my life and specialized in construction. I've been having my own projects, and I also build projects for other people in Spain and other countries. And 8 years ago, I started focusing on startup, which in Spain was nothing. Contech didn't exist. It was PropTech.
8 years ago?
9 years ago.
9 years ago.
So only people speak about PropTech. And I was kind of pissed because, can I say that?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Say what you like.
And I thought that we should create this ecosystem also in Spain. So the first thing was to introduce the word Contech. People say PropTech, sometimes Construtech or BuildTech, but not Contech, which is, for me, it's cooler.
Which one do you prefer?
Contech.
Contech, okay.
Yeah, but because you don't say educational tech, or you don't say climate check. Climate, you always short the name, no?
Yeah, so I'm on the construction tech side.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now maybe
we're still friends then.
Yes. And then we start building the ecosystem. There was no ecosystem there. When you went to ask for money, raise money, the venture capital were in construction. You have startups. You innovate in construction, really? Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah.
And then we start bringing people, and then Thaqua, Cemex, these guys start coming to Spain. And then I thought it was the opportunity to create a hub, a very well-established hub to promote the new startup, the new projects, no? And we have built that in a technological institute of Catalonia, which have 50 years we started in 1978, to be exact.
Yeah.
And then they asked to build this space specially designed for startups and innovative projects. So that's what we do there.
Okay, that's very cool. And like for people building tech founders in Barcelona, like is there like a common kind of thread or theme of what people typically focus on in By the way, when I say Barcelona, would you also say Spain as well, or are you keeping it kind of, or is that a sensitive political question?
No problem. First of all, my work has nothing to do with political, but it's true. I'm Catalan. I know the issue, and I know some years ago there was an issue. Right now, the water is calm, so I mean I'm very proud to be Catalan and from Barcelona, but I don't give my opinion on things that are much more tricky than people think.
Okay.
So yeah, we're still in Spain.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing in our ecosystem is that I asked already Patrick that because
great question, by the way.
We've seen a lot of digital startups because they don't require a lot of money to start. But when we found a lot of good ideas, but you need more investment from different materials or we're struggling a lot. And we are focusing now in corporate venture capitals, try to convince them that you don't need to, maybe you can have the next product for your portfolio. So you can start working with not inside your company, outside your company, but with different projects that maybe in the future can be your portfolio. So it's not a financial interest at the end, it's a commercial interest. And that is starting to hit very hard there. And we open this new path for startups. But answering your question, I'm afraid because digital part is still the main area. We have products, we have sustainability, robotics starting, but software, it's for me, it's too much.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But you're starting to see glimmer of hope when it comes to more hardware, provided that the capital can be available to the founders who are building these companies.
Yeah. There's this hope, but as I said, we would like to change that. And especially, this is a very complicated thing to speak about, but AI, I totally agree that it's probably one of the biggest bubbles in the last 4 centuries.
For context, the first question I asked Patrick was, is AI a bubble? Straight up, he said yes.
Yes, and I believe so. I believe so. Because, but now things are going faster. So the bubbles are being built faster because we are all, from the hub in Barcelona, we have a lot of connections from all over the world. And through the ICN, this, you know, the ICN,
International Construction Tech Network. You should tell us about that afterwards, but carry on, yeah.
Okay, well, I can follow that. We are traveling to in the International Contech Network, which was created here last year. It was the kickoff, but now we have our bylaws and our bank account and stuff. We thought that there was no organization that unites the Contech all over the world. There was nobody. So here we met people from different parts of the world, and we say, why don't we create something that we can gather all us together? And we did it, and it was created here in Paris in January this year. Yeah. I am the Secretary General,
nice,
proud about, but a lot of work, pro bono, so it's complicated, but very exciting. And now we have 17 countries with us. By the way, no one from England still.
I just said this to Lisa a second ago. We don't have a UK kind of hub of construction tech.
We spoke with several, but
maybe that's our next venture as Bricks and Bytes.
But I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. Maybe they fear that we can be competitors or something like that. We found that in some associations.
Yeah, in different cultures. Yeah, UK is not so collaborative. You don't think?
Sorry.
You think the UK is less collaborative, maybe?
No, I don't think so. In fact, my sister lives there from many years ago, so I go there and I love.
I think it depends who you speak to. Yeah. I get the impression in construction actually that UK bigger companies are keep everything close to their chest. Whereas when in France we have like how many logos of French contractors in this arena here collaborating.
Yes.
To make stuff happen. So I do think the UK needs a wake-up call when it comes to this, yeah. Yeah,
collaboration and coordination, I think, is the word. And in an industry like ours, which everything is so complex, you know, this new era, I would say, that is opening about the industrialization, that will change, it's a game changer. Procurement and things, a lot of things will change. We have startups in Spain, for example, that now have that what they say is we want to build houses as cars are built. And I say, well, do you think that we'll arrive to this point? Oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. Let's see.
Tricky one.
It's complicated. But anyway, going to your point, it's just find the right people. And I think that we will, in the whole, I just spoken with someone from Ireland here, a very nice, interesting startup, yes. And they said, wow, it's fantastic. We want to join us. Yes, of course. So you can create the chapter in Ireland. Why not?
The Irish one. Oh, talking of politics, yeah, Ireland and the UK is slightly different. Slightly different thing.
I know.
Unless you're from Northern Ireland.
I know.
Okay, very cool. Paco, in your opinion, what's the superpower of a Spanish Catalonian founder?
In fact, we are listed as the 5th biggest startup ecosystem in Europe. I think first is Paris, second I think is London, Amsterdam, Berlin is the second, and Barcelona is the 5th.
Sounds right, yeah.
Which I'm also surprised, but it's true that when you go around, you see a lot of startups coming from all over the world. I don't know why. I mean, the food, maybe the sun, which it's not now. I think it's not something that it's only from us. But Barcelona is a very open city and welcomes people very well. And it's a very, very old city in the Mediterranean. So we are very used to receive people from all over the world. And I don't know, maybe also because we have bet a lot of public money into these startups and innovation that helps to make the ecosystem stronger and well positioned.
Yeah.
So I think it's a mix of different things.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Very cool. If you're advising a contractor, they come to you and say, Paco, I have 200,000 euros to spend on tech this year. Where do you say that they should spend it?
I would say, give it to me, and I will go back to you later.
Yeah.
I would say, of course, I mean, there's things that will never change, but what we are seeing, the trends that we are seeing that are really emerging, one is robotics.
Yeah.
Robotics. either to the on-site and off-site, different kind of robots. This is really punching hard. And then, of course, it's true, something that goes beside the artificial intelligence. It looks like it's cool. As I said, I think there is a big bubble there. But for example, we have a very nice startup there that have a plugin for Revit. And we have been contacting Revit people. And we are all afraid that if these kind of things would be old-fashioned in 6 months. So I won't say that I would wait and see in the AI, and I will go into robotics.
Yeah, you're the hardware guy, definitely. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Okay, very cool. In your opinion, silly question. Where will the next European construction tech unicorn come from? Which country?
Which country will be the
next construction tech unicorn?
To be honest, I don't have all the information, but if you speak about probability, probably in France.
Probably in France.
You have for me in Europe, you have the biggest, or they have the biggest ecosystem in construction.
Yeah, we had a similar thing. Yeah.
What we're seeing and talking with people all over the world, they see that in Europe, maybe France is leading more than Germany and UK. Let's see. Not in Spain. But we're working on that.
Touch wood. You never know. You never know. We'll revisit this conversation next year and see where we get to.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, look. So we're doing a small challenge.
Okay.
The challenge is 1 minute. You have to add to the Lego structure. So keep what's there, and you have to do whatever you think will...
To make a structure?
Yeah, and eventually by the end we'll have a massive thing.
Okay.
Which will become the whatever it is of
1 minute?
Contech Connect. So look, I'm going to give you 1 minute starting from now.
Okay. What's time?
Oh, you're building the castle walls.
Okay.
Around Lisa's version of the Arc de Triomphe.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Or maybe a future Tour Eiffel. I keep it simple, but I follow the path.
I like it, yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Very good. Nice. I like it. What have we got so far?
You need to be more. The structure should be wider and heavier.
Yeah, you're
just
thinking
to
of the
support.
foundations. Yeah. Good.
Exactly.
Building up the foundations. Very good. Okay. I think we're gonna go to the next person, but we just got to wait for them. No stress. Do you have a few more minutes?
Yeah, of course.
Let's go, because we're waiting for the next person. I think maybe they got held up. No coming? Are they coming? Next person? Okay. So what do Spanish contractors actually want?
Actually,
what do they want? Spanish contractors, like, what are they demanding?
That's a good question. I think they are kind of. They know which path follow, which orientation they need to follow. They are overwhelmed about the enormous quantity of technology that we are bringing to the market, the Contech sector. And the problem they have is, what should I buy or what should I use? Because there are many things, and I'm not sure which one I would prefer best. But if I should say one, I would say the data management. That is something that people are realizing that 50 years ago.
Which is it? Sorry, say it again.
Data management.
Data management.
Data management. Yeah, sorry, data management. 50 years ago, the data was in an Excel, or 50 years ago, there's no Excel, but in a paper and now and it was difficult to get this information from a site. Now it's the opposite. You have tons of information.
Yeah.
So they don't know what to do with information. They put these drones and this stuff, and they have a lot of information, but they don't know how to put it in a way that it's helpful and separate the useful things and the things that they really need. No.
Yeah.
So that is something that many contractors are trying to find tools and ways to better this not a solution, but try to things better in this way.
Yeah, and that was one thing that came up in the opening keynote this morning, that data infrastructure as a layer is something a high field of interest for people investing capital into the space.
I think Patrick also tell that trying to connect information with the people, building things in the middle, basic on not on probabilities like AI, but based on certainties, which are the data, no?
Yeah.
And that I think it's an important concept, because when you put things on AI, you're based on probability. But in ChatGPT, for example, but when you have your own data from the side, certain data, that is the fundamental, or the place where you have to start. Because that's certainty.
Do you, as someone who came from construction, do you believe that there is like a shelf life of data? What I mean by that is like, is data that was, say, 10 years old still have value to it? Or does it need to be more recent, from like 1 year or 2 years ago?
I think right now, there's kind of the topics that we always, all of us are speaking about, industrialization, AI, and it looks like this is the actual reality in construction, but it is not. There's a huge part of the market that's still based on what we did 60 or 70 years ago. So I think it works, and it's useful right now, but probably in the future, we don't need this information. But right now, I think it's usual, because construction change not very fast. It's very slow, the change. So the data that you already had, I think now you can use it to build next projects or to build next things that you need to build. Yes.
Yeah, very cool. And how about, could you give us some insight into some of the startups from Barcelona, which you're particularly excited about?
Yes.
Because I'll have to say that, we don't hear a huge amount, actually. Like, I would not be too familiar myself with names of...
When we started, you said?
From Barcelona, construction tech companies. So yeah, tell us some more about them.
Well, the hub was started in 2024. So
what's it called?
Our hub started in 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. The Barcelona Contech hub. From there to now, we have built an ecosystem from around 60 startups, and we believe we have a radar in Spain, and we believe that we can found between or around 150, 140 Contech startups, more or less.
Yeah,
yes,
wow.
That's what we manage. And we have bring here some of them. Here beside me is BioWare, which is one of the biggest.
Yep.
Adarcus has always come from Spain all the way.
Yeah.
And also, how many? Because we bring some of them. The other one was, I don't remember which is the other one.
Which one?
The ones that we brought from Spain to this event.
Did you mention? I think there's one called 011H.
I know them.
Yeah.
But they are going in a different path.
Oh, they are like.
Yes. No. And also they just the proposition was very ambitious. Then they have had to pivot, others.
Yeah.
And having in count that the founders have done a big exit and they have good contacts, so they have another path. They come with a regular ecosystem, but they're very well known. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a strong springboard, a trampoline to start from. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, nice.
It looks like we're gonna make it for lunch, maybe here.
For lunch?
You and I, no? Because
yeah, we might have to get some food orders in and bring some. By the way, so I have not eaten today so far. So I usually do intermittent fasting, like where I wake up at stupid time. People that watch Bricks and Bytes know this. I wake up very early, and usually I have breakfast. Usually 10, 11 a.m. So today I was up at 5. It's 11:51. This stream goes till like 2:30. And so I'm wondering
if you want,
maybe we'll get some food.
Do you want a sandwich? I can go and buy for you.
Maybe. That would be very kind. Thank you. I can sneak off to the side and do some.
Okay.
I need to find someone to host whilst I'm not here.
Okay.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, we can't wait to see.
Do you have a big audience in Spain?
In Spain?
from your blog? Do you have?
Do you know, I think it's a good question.
Your podcast.
I was speaking to someone about this earlier, and in like our show is primarily English, which English is like whatever big speaking language. Maybe I think Mandarin is number 1, but English number 2. Yeah, most of the world speaks
Spanish
English.
is the third.
Yeah. But a lot of European countries still speak in their native tongue. And even when coming to France, French is like extremely dominant. Like usually if you go to Spain, it's a bit more English in the society there, you can get by. But when you come to France, you be at the train station, no signs are in English. It's quite difficult as someone who only speaks English to get through. So it got me thinking, on Bricks and Bytes, why don't we try and launch? We can use AI now. Just do like Spanish,
translation,
French copies, and maybe it will open up a whole new audience.
Why not?
Us.
Why not?
I mean, we can come to the Contech hub with you.
Please, you will be very welcome. Very welcome.
That would be fun.
We have also startups working over there. We have a space for them.
Yeah.
But there are several podcasts from construction in Spain. But I believe that there's no one big podcast.
One big player, yeah.
As far as I know. I mean, probably it is, but I don't know them. I've been invited to several. So it would be nice that you can open your translation to Spain.
I will give it a go.
I follow your podcast because I knew you, but not I think that you're not very known in Spain.
Yeah, of course.
You could do many things.
Ah, that would be very good.
And if you jump into Spain, then you jump into Latin America. In my case, for example, one of the startups I found, it was a digital tool, very simple, an app, 8 years ago. That's what I said. I was starting with startups. And it was an app that you can download very quickly. We built that in 6 months. Our first clients, users were in Spain, but in 1.5 years, 65% of the downloads came from Latin America, not from Spain. 65%, only with digital marketing.
So I did speak to someone running the Latin America Contech. There's an event there, right?
Yes.
I think someone mentioned it earlier on the show as well.
There's several.
In Lima?
Germán Helera.
Germán, yes.
He runs the Contech Latam, yes.
Is he
Peru.
here today?
Yes, it's him.
I think maybe I saw him actually.
Oh yes, I can introduce you to him if you want.
Yeah, very nice.
He's part of the ICN. I have 5 people in the board of the ICN. One of them is him. I am the Secretary General. Also, we have the President here, Cliff Fettner. I don't know if you know him.
Who's it?
Cliff Fettner.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he's the President.
Very cool.
And yesterday we had our summit, the first ICN summit, and Hilt Eventers host us. It was really nice.
Yeah.
So many people of the organization is here
Very
today.
growing. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Cool. 5 more minutes. One more question, maybe for you, Paco. Would be, what's your plans for whilst you're here at Contech Connect? Have you also been to other events globally? I know the event space in this industry is big. Lots of people throw events. This is a relatively new event, so it's the 2nd year this year, and I think growing as well.
Yes.
What's your gut feel so far? I mean, we're like a third of the way through the day already. So Contech Connect versus other events that you've been to globally. How do you feel about it?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. So you mean what's my opinion about the proposal of Contech Connect?
Yeah. So there's lots of events in the industry. Maybe you've been to some others. How do you think Contech Connect compares to the other events?
Yes. In fact, when Jerome started this idea, he started searching on the internet hubs from construction, and he told me the first one I saw is the one in Barcelona. Can we speak? He came to Barcelona. He pitched me what he was thinking about to do, and I said it's a good idea. Because I know there are digital weeks and things like that, very focused on parts, and also there are big events in construction that startups are in a corner, like the kindergarten. They put you there, but there was no one event that can gather all the ecosystem, focused on Contech, and do something not very strict, not very rigid, or be a small part of the event, be the event. So I think it's a good idea, and I would support you. So I've been helping to build this very, very tiny, because this is a big effort from Jerome and
small but mighty.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's a new proposition, and I think next year it would be much more bigger. There's people here that last year I spoke with them and say, well, let's see. They are here this year.
Yeah, amazing.
And I bring in people from Spain, and ICN is bringing people from all around the world, and the message is going to be spread. In fact, I think next year it should be more than one day. I think they should do side events and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think Jerome has in his mind things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So maybe he's the one?
Not yet. No, I don't think so. The first year of any event is the hardest, people say, because no one trusts you, and like
no
people
track
have
record.
options to go somewhere else, and so it's glad that he managed to keep it going for a second year running now. Yeah, glad to hear it.
But this is the proof that the concept was good. This is the proof. You see how many people. Last year, I remember, to found speakers was also complicated. The big boys, the big guys, the big companies were very busy. Today we had Patrick.
Now they're here.
Which is,
Patrick.
Yes, and a lot of important people here around.
I made a joke about Patrick. I said that there's more chance of England winning the World Cup this year than Patrick being at an event. So we shall see.
It's true that. It's true that.
Well, Paco, I think we're going to.
But I'm afraid that this year is Spain going to be the winner of the champion of the world
Spain?
champion. Yeah, definitely.
Who's the favorites?
I think it's Spain. Well, usual suspects. Maybe Germany, Brazil. I'm not sure. Brazil, Argentina. But I think the bunch of players that we have in Spain, and we have the Euro Cup last one, I think we are top.
Yeah,
I think,
very cool. Look, Paco, let's get a quick selfie, yeah?
Yes, please.
For the movement. Thanks. Okay, very cool. Okay, thanks, Paco. Good luck, yeah? See you around.
You're really
busy. All right, let's do this. So Guillaume.
What up?
So you're a relatively new addition to Brick and Mortar, yeah?
Yeah, I mean 3 years now. Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah.
At Brick and Mortar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, ignore my first question. That was a terrible way to introduce this guy. I thought it was a new thing. What do I know? I should have just probably read my notes, but I didn't. So rushing into this. So give us a 15-second introduction, now that I know you've been there for 3 years.
Yeah, so 3 years at Brick and Mortar as partner for Europe and the Middle East. I used to run everything startup related at Leonard, the innovation department of Vinci. And before that, I spent 10 years in the US, moved there to do research in fusion science, and made my way to a construction tech startup where I was head of product of a prefab company. So that's the long story short.
And then you joined Brick and Mortar after?
I joined Brick and Mortar after spending 5 years at Leonard and like helping set up the innovation department.
Very cool. What's the difference between like working at a corporate accelerator versus a fund?
Sorry?
The difference between working at a corporate accelerator, so Vinci, Leonard, versus a fund?
Well,
like Brick and Mortar.
I would say, first of all, very simple and clear objectives in terms of what you're trying to achieve, which is performance of the fund. Corporate accelerator is a lot of things kind of meshed together and colliding that you have to figure out. Mix of PR to get started, a mix of trying to change general like cultural standpoints with regards to startups and innovation, generally speaking. And when you're lucky, once in a while, out of the tens of investments, something that clicks, and that's great. But the biggest difference is just alignment in terms of goals and clarity in the mission, I would say.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And what's Brick and Mortar like? What are they looking at specifically within Europe?
Yeah, so we invest out of a single fund, so it's not a single differentiated strategy with Europe. I would say it's more flavors that are associated with the deal flow that we see and the type of founders that we see in different places. We see a lot of robotics happening here. We see a lot of high quality AI companies. We see in France in particular a close proximity with the construction giants, Bouygues, Eiffage, Vinci and the others, which is quite interesting. And then we see, generally speaking, compared to the US, lower valuations, which has pluses and minuses associated with them. We have a very differentiated position in Europe because our maximum first ticket is around 6 million, which puts us in a place where there's not a lot of people sort of competing for a deal. There's either like before or after. So yeah, it's more, I would say, just general differentiation and a richer roster of options to choose from.
Yeah, okay, very cool. Nice. Okay. Which, in your opinion, which European country you think has the best, which European country has the best market, or is the best market for construction tech?
So
can't say France. Everyone said France. I need someone to go against the grain.
I think it's still early. It's still the very early innings in Europe. Construction tech as a category, brick and mortar, we started investing in 2015, so 11 years ago. At the time, there were 300 companies worldwide we were tracking. Now there's about 5,000 we're tracking. A bunch of them, the majority are still in North America. There's more and more in Europe, and we see a higher caliber of founders in Europe. So it's a little early to say because most of the, I would say, high-quality companies are still relatively young. Each country has had sort of a first almost success with local companies in Germany, in Austria, in France, in the UK, but none of them have really hit it big. So now, I think in the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to see real champions in Germany, we're going to see real champions in France, in the UK, and then the two odd ones that I bring up quite often are Switzerland and Norway. Both small countries, both with an understanding that they need to build for outside of their country from day one. And with something that's kind of funny, and I'm still trying to figure out what it is exactly, but a propensity to trust founders very early on with pretty large-scale deployments, and I can't, because I think they're very just high-trust countries, and more often than not, you hear, "Oh yeah, I deployed there because it's my dad's cousin's friend." And they're just small, more integrated countries than France or Germany, for instance.
You said Norway, right?
In Norway?
You said Norway?
Yeah, Norway. Yeah.
Was this? No, I think I'm going to say something wrong, so I won't say it. Okay, very cool. Look, Guillaume, we have a challenge for everyone here today.
Okay.
You have 1 minute. We're building the Lego sculpture, the Bricks and Bytes Contech Connect Lego sculpture. You have to add, don't change anything, you have to add to the Lego.
Okay.
You have 1 minute, okay?
Okay, all right.
You have to do it in 1 minute, and then after that, I'll stop you, and we'll end up with a masterpiece. Go for it.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're going very creative. All right.
Unstable.
Okay, well, before you, Paco was trying to build the foundation. So now we're going to need some extra reinforcement.
yeah.
Cool. All right, Guillaume. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do the ceremonial selfie with everyone here.
Okay, cool.
The sun makes you look like a London.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, good luck. We're rolling, so Patrick's coming on.
Cool.
Thank you so much, yeah? Take care. Yeah, you can't touch it yet.
I can't touch it yet?
That's the key rule.
Okay.
Well, look. Fancy bumping into an American actually, you're the second American that's been on today. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Europeans, 2 Americans so far. Well, four Europeans if you include me. I don't know if we are European anymore. But so it depends which line at the border control they tell you to go down. Non-EU passports. As a British person, you still don't know whether you're non-EU or not. So
yeah, right.
Whatever.
You're still working on that line there, right?
Still working, yeah. But no, so yeah, good to see you. I think Americans love Paris, huh?
I love Paris. Yeah, I like it. But it's funny. I'm American born, but European raised. So My parents,
Explain.
my parents are Polish, so
Oh.
so I speak Polish fluently, right?
Amazing.
The first language I ever spoke was Polish, so.
Oh, Shane Martin's not here. He would have given you a. We could have had a Polish episode.
Right, I know.
Well, Patrick, look, let's dive into this then. So,
Yeah.
Field AI, we spoke about them earlier on the main stage down here. 405 million total raise, yeah? 2 billion valuation, which is insane and exciting for this space. You have the responsibility of getting these robots, should I say, and the solution that you provide from the factory into the hands of users. You're the head of sales at VP of sales at Field AI. So, yeah, what would you say has changed in like the last 18, 12, 6 months, which has made people want to adopt more robotics?
Great question. I mean, definitely having the confidence first, right? Being able to showcase the autonomy that we have on it, I think is a huge standing point, right? If you look at it 2 years ago, the reason we never looked at robots is just wasn't productive. You'd have to follow it with a tablet or reorganize it or whatever. And we kind of stepped in and changed that game, bringing on that level of autonomy. But it's also going to project teams and actually, solving a problem. We also meet them in the middle of, I think, the idea of having being able to purchase a robot and having the contractor worry about this big metal piece and managing it, maintaining it. So we offer the whole service, right? We bring on a problem, we solve your problem, and every problem-solving tool that we give you the hardware with that, right? So that's kind of our way that we service everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it was getting in the door was our big thing. When I came in to Field AI, I told Ali, I was like, listen, we got to get in the door and prove this, right? How do you get in the door the best way? Take away the tedious tasks that everyone on a job site has to do. The last 13 years, I've been selling, 360, reality capture, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I knew a big portion of that the world did. They found the value out of all these platforms. I know they hate capturing it. So I'm like, let's take that away, right? Let's at least prove this system and take away that really easy task, but everyone has to do it because it brings so much value. And so that's really where we started. And from there, we scaled to different things like laser scanning and stuff like that. But it was getting in the door and meeting the team in the middle with how they purchase, right? And how the project team will actually see that. Because innovation teams are amazing, and they'll get us through, and they'll be your champion. But if a project team tells you no, you're kind of not making it.
Yeah, I can't imagine you had a very easy job to start with because, it's not the norm to buy robotics, right? People are not used to this, so you had to really be creative in how you and your role was let's get this into people's hands and people actually using it.
Oh yeah, it was honestly, I'm not a roboticist.
Well, you have to try things, right?
Yeah, I'm not a roboticist either, so I'm there was a lot of things to learn.
That's probably a good thing, by the way.
I think so. I think you're right because not that I was thinking outside of the box or anything, but I did see things practical, real, right? The team's brilliant, right? So they see things if it's not perfect, they want it to be perfect, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that. So
you think
it was. But I mean, hardware in general, implementing it on a job site, there's a lot of things you had to learn. So for sure, it was a learning curve. But I'm very happy where we are today versus still being in the learning curve process for sure.
Yeah, nice. I'm going to make a joke here. You mentioned previously that you were selling reality capture solutions. So I wind Tom Feliz up, right? Because you mentioned him, and I say he's the #1 salesman in construction tech. So you must be the #2 salesman, huh?
Yeah, Tom, funny. Tom Feliz hired me, so Tom Feliz is definitely a construction tech legend.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's When I started working with Tom Feliz, I always say he is he does not turn off. So that guy is all work, man. I'll always give it to him. He's the man. I'll never have anything bad to say about him.
Man, I was at Autodesk University last year with him, and my cheeks and stomach was hurting because he was making me laugh so much. He's one of the funniest.
You feel his energy from down the hall, man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very cool. Okay, nice. So, whereabouts? So, Field AI, based in San Francisco, selling globally.
So we're based in Irvine, in Southern California.
Yeah.
We do have an office in San Francisco, but yes, we are currently, I would say globally, yeah. we have majority of our robots currently walking construction sites in the U.S., data centers, hospitals, semiconductors, airports too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have major partners, probably one of our biggest partners in Japan. And so we have a lot of work out in Japan as well. But now we're slowly scaling into the UK market. We just signed our first customers in the UK. We have robots walking in Germany. So yeah, we're slowly expanding into this market as well. We have investors in Singapore, and so we naturally progressed into Singapore as well. There's a lot of movement in that market too. So. You'd be surprised. I mean, some of the leads that come in from the website are it's just things I've never talked to, people I've never spoken about. It's very interesting. It's an interesting world to be in for sure.
That's funny. You get some like interesting countries that reach out to you. I've done the analytics on Bricks and Bytes a few months back, and I was looking at the countries that consume Bricks and Bytes. There was like 70-something countries. Some of these countries I'd never even heard of. So I imagine you maybe get some leads.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, I didn't even know that was a place, but let's go there on holiday.
Absolutely. Like, you start, especially with the internet now too, like you start learning a little more. But yeah, there's a lot out there that, people just don't hear about. Even use cases, man, or people's jobs. It's funny.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What's the hardest country to sell to?
I mean, that's a great question. I don't think I've made it that far yet.
Okay.
Plus, I'll say this, like, it's robotics right now, right? I'm not gonna, sit here and like lie through the teeth. It's robotics. A lot of people are interested in it, right? So, again, like there's definitely a lot of interest. So there's not much outreach in today's world that I think robotics companies have to do because everyone's just naturally progressing to it. But again, it goes back to you still got to solve something for these guys, right? If you're not solving problems. There's a lot of people that come and ask us questions. I'm like, hey, we're just not the right fit, right? But hey, here's someone that may be, right?
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I could imagine. Actually, yeah. So part of your role, maybe in the sales process, is to qualify like who is, for fear of not disrespecting these people, but who is just like window shopping versus who is actually serious and ready to use someone like Fildara. Like in your experience, what's a company that's like ready to go versus someone that is like exploring?
Yeah. I mean, exploring is really just like, hey, what do you, someone comes to me like, what do you do? Just interested. Some people will actually just say, hey, we're just interested.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if you ask them enough questions, right, through the discovery process, you'll find that, hey, maybe there is a problem we can fix, right? But I think a lot of people in today's world may not know, right? It's robots. Even I didn't, right? Like, it's still a world that is like, even our team, you guys knew robots really well, knew robotic software and all this, but we've never seen it in the real world. And if you have, like, let's be real, you really haven't, right? They're not walking around us on a daily basis where we're just so adapted to it. So I think every customer is always a learning project, right? I think over the time we've learned a lot about what is fit, what's not, about our roadmap too, right? We started saying no a little more, and it's not no, it's just not now, like most of that. So I think it depends on that situation, but to be honest, the whole world is learning, right? It's a lot. It's a whole new world. We've never been, maybe factories and all that stuff has been aware of this, but for our real world movement and every minute life-changing things happen to us, it's always a discovery process,
you
right?
have to completely change the behavior, which is not easy, right?
Absolutely.
What's your advice to other founders, other people in sales working for robotics companies to get their solutions into the market?
Yeah, man, ask questions, right? Like, and definitely, if you wanted to get them, this also goes for like general contractors too. It's ask questions and make sure you're ready for that approach, right? A lot of general contractors will say like, hey, we want to do this, but it turns out they just don't have systems in place on their own to like manage this. At the end of the day, we may have autonomous robots, but someone on the site has to be aware of it, has to know what to do with it, has to have some sort of knowledge behind it, right? So it's also a cultural thing where I think the industry needs to adapt to this and want to do this because everyone's going to have to, just be wary of it and have it around, right? Like when we started implementing drones, right? I mean, regulations started to go into place, a lot of questions started getting asked, so I think it's going to be the same concept. Just a little bit different because there's physical things going around, right? So,
How about on the other side then, for people in the corporate position, the people you're selling to, like any advice to them? Because the reason I ask you is because like it's actually quite hard to buy technology. It's not so straightforward. You don't just like meet someone like, yeah, I'll buy this. Like there's a lot of conversation around like how do you successfully buy tech. So any advice for the buyers of the technology?
I don't like saying I like to give advice to my buyers.
Yeah, that's
usually,
what I was thinking.
You
It's a
know,
conflict,
usually it's a conflict, right? Usually they're the ones giving me advice. But I'll say this, that what's been successful for us with our buyers is, again, meeting in the middle, right? We're starting with a project, and we're very specific on what we want. Set the proper expectations, right? Set the proper goals with both parties being like very acceptable to it, and then a timeline, right? Once all those three good and the metrics follow, everything else will flow, right?
Yeah.
The scale will be there, because then it's like all the other project teams want in, right? For instance, we have a top 10 ENR GC that just scaled with us, and we started with one, tested it for like a year, found out the kinks, this and that, what works, what doesn't, what APIs we want to use, and now we're pushing out 50 robots with them, right? So, and that may be, 10, 15 projects, whatever that may be. We built that trust, we built that foundation, we set the expectations, and I think that's what's really important. But at the end of the day, too, you're gonna have to have the culture internally to want to move to it, right?
Yeah, that's such good advice. Thank you for sharing that, man. Okay, Patrick, we are like up against the clock here. So look, we've got this challenge going on here. There's some Lego there. You can't change what's already there. You just have to add to it, right? So you have 1 minute. I'll give you the green light, and you have to, add to the bricks and bytes construction.
Any way I want, right?
You can do whatever you like. Let the imagination go on. Maybe there's more pressure because you work for a robotics company.
No, right?
And in sales.
Oh, but look, I'm at least building at least some extra foundation here so people can scale up, Give them the
You're
ability.
thinking like, I'm trying to identify people's mental patterns here. So some people are either like grounded and thinking very practically like you. Others are like, let's just build like the craziest
thing. No, man, I'm
ever.
a realist. So like, I think that's the difference between me and like.
Yeah, you're Polish though, right?
Yeah. Raised Polish, man. So we're like everything. My wife. If you ask my wife, I'm way too real. So like I'm way too practical.
Man,
like,
you need to meet Martin one day. You guys will get on like a house on fire.
Let's see. You give people some more structure. Let them be the creatives, and I'll let them take on with it. So
it's like, just sounds like me and him. All right, time up. What did you do? Man. You added some foundation. Okay, we'll take that.
Yes. Hey, appreciate you, brother.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, thanks.
See you around here.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Philippe. Please don't break this model. I'm starting to get like nervous about this.
I see there's a new addition.
Yeah, we're going to keep it going.
And keep it going?
How big we can get. I'm going to have to somehow try and bring it back.
Are we making a tower? Is that what we're doing?
Well, I will introduce you to the challenge in a second.
Oh, it's a challenge,
Part of my job today will be to get that home in the Eurostar in one piece on my shelf. But yeah. Okay, look, let's dive into this, Philippe. CEO and founder, Enlay, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Give me the 15-second introduction.
The 15-second introduction is that to build is to manage risk, and we do it really poorly in this business. And we're an AI-native solution to help you track, manage, and mitigate your risk so you can focus on building.
Yeah, very cool. That was
Lesson
sharp.
15.
That was very good. I'm very impressed. Okay, look, 6 years of Vinci construction. At some point you had the revelation, like, I need to go and build Enlay. So, like, did something happen during that time, or?
It's interesting. I don't know if I've told this story out in the open before, but okay. I want you to picture what is probably the most boring topic in construction you can think of, which is lane closures.
What?
Lane closure. Closing a lane to build stuff. You know, the orange cones?
Yeah.
You can think the most innocuous topic imaginable. Okay. 2019, we're about to close a bid for just under $3 billion of an LRT project in Ottawa in Canada. And we're a few weeks out of the due date to put in the bid. And there's this small appendix in all of the RFP docs that you got to look at
There's a small one, I will never forget, it's schedule
One paragraph
34.
in like 5,000 pages.
Mobility matters. A tiny little thing that no one's really looked at. And I'm looking at something else and I'm like, okay, let's see what's in there. Turns out that over just a few pages, the owner had invented, this was a novel thing,
Wow.
a lane closure rental scheme
Wow.
where you had to tell them over the however long, 5-6 years of the project, when you were going to close lanes down to the block per city. They had a price for different roads, and you had to put that into your price, and then you were allowed 5% extra. You're like, okay, this is weird, not seen this, but I'll do some back of the envelope stuff.
Wait, hold on a second. Did you sign up to this clause?
So I didn't.
Okay.
Look, I'm a bridge engineer by training. I'm not a lane closure guy.
Okay.
But because I'm the first guy who looked, I became the lane closure guy. And that ended up representing a $120 million item that we did not have in our price. If we had skipped that, that's 120 million gone entirely. Just on closing lanes to do the job. And at that point I was like, this cannot be how we make sure we don't miss things. Just because one curious guy found a file cannot be the safety net. We need something a lot more robust.
No, man. I'm pretty sure that is the safety net.
Right now, I think it often is. The whole reason we've built this to be the risk tracker that you don't have to worry about is because I don't scale. I can't be checking every file on every project I'm on.
Yeah, I love it, man. Great story. So, okay, like on Bricks and Bytes, we're hearing a lot of AI solutions out there. I don't know if you caught what Patrick said down there, but it was quite damning to maybe a few people building solutions in the AI space of construction. I'm pretty confused. Like, I come from construction. I spend years consuming technology. I meet a new AI founder nearly every week who's telling me a solution, and I'm like, dude, like, I love you, the ambition's great, but I just don't understand what the differentiator is here.
Yeah.
So my question is, like, one, what's the differentiator? Two, how do you guys win against all the other AI that's kind of existing in the space?
It's interesting because everyone expects AI to have this big replacement job. Like, I'm going to replace you as a worker, I'm going to take your job, I'm going to replace how you work. I think that's the wrong approach. I think a lot of people, that's very hypey, of we're going to change the way we do everything. Construction software still often sucks because it's been around for 30 years, and changing habits is the hardest thing. So AI that helps do job better without requiring so much of a habit change, that can be a differentiator. AI that's going to do everything for you and totally replace you, I don't believe in either. But also, we're in an industry that has a massive labor shortage. We want to give some things away to a tool where it still makes sense without finding ourselves still tracking really boring tasks that no one wants to do. So the way we differentiate ourselves is we're AI native, but we're not just an AI company. I'm a risk management company. And the reason I'm that is because this pain that I lived, you know how I went through that file? I did Control F in a PDF reader. I didn't do anything with an AI tool. The core problem is not one that is just, made better by AI, but it's been around the whole time. So if you're focusing on issues that construction can resonate with, and you're like, I'm going to fill some of the gaps where the AI can do the work, but there's still humans that are going to decide on. I mean, I get this question a lot, right? Risk management, is the AI going to tell me what to do? No. It's going to tell you, here are 5 possible outcomes, so 5 possible ways you could answer it. A human still chooses. Because when you put in a bid, you don't know exactly what's going to happen. Making an imperfect decision has always been how this business builds. AI is not going to change that. But it can do 12 analyses in the time it took you to read that one PDF that you used to read before. So you're empowering the way you already work. I believe in that. I don't believe in full replacement with agentic everything, where the human is just clicking a button, like in WALL-E. I really don't think that's the future.
Vibe risk management.
Yeah, that's. Look, if I say to build it to manage risk, it cannot be vibe-based.
Eliminate risks, don't make any mistakes.
Right. That's the prompt, right? Hey, Claude, do this, don't make mistakes. Solved. I figured it out.
Amazing. Sold. Very cool. So, like, in your opinion, how do you, okay, construction tech, we talked about sales with Patrick just a moment ago, but sales is complicated. You have to sell to one person. In reality, the user is someone else. So in your experience so far, someone who's lived it as well, how do you get the teams to actually adopt and use the technology?
Yeah. So everyone will tell you they want to buy a fully decked out tool where everything's enterprise grade, all of that. The best way to get someone to use something is to solve one thing really well that requires minimal change to what they currently do. So what I just expressed of, hey, you got to review all this stuff, I'm just going to help you do that faster, and you still own the outcome. You can still understand it. That someone will be open to. If I tell them, hey, my AI platform does it all for you, and you just trust it, bro, they're never going to do that. Because what's been true in this business remains true. The hardest thing to do is change behavior. If I come in and I need a really high level of behavior change to show value, no one's got time for that. You got to start with a little one. Now, sometimes I hesitate to use this term, but it's almost a bit of a Trojan horse play, because you have to have more under the hood, because the one thing that will unlock that person's value may not be the same at every buyer. Most construction companies are very different from one to another. If you just had, it's not like rinse and repeat one thing. You got to have different options, but you can't have all of them. You just have to find for each new buyer, what's that first one that gets you the first piece, the first foot in the door, and then you can build trust over time. And that's where you need the platform. If you don't then have something to deliver beyond, then they kind of feel like they got short-sticked, right? They don't want to see the full thing. But you can't come in and try to get them to adopt the whole vision straight away, but you still need it for when it actually works out.
Yeah, nice. Start somewhere, expand naturally from there.
You have to.
Yeah, very
Change is done in increments.
Yeah.
But if you do it well, you never go back. So you're just building on every time.
Yeah, very cool, nice. Okay. So, like, do you think you get to a solution? I know you talked a little bit about like replacement of humans, that kind of thing. Like, it comes up. I think people are actually like getting quite sick of that question and that conversation.
Yeah.
And in fact, people who know, like who are educated in AI will never really bring this topic up. Because like we know the answers, right? But I have to ask.
Yeah.
Does a project director of a company who is like, or a contracts manager, whoever, who has to review contract documents, do they no longer have to look through contract documents?
So, I want to give you how I experienced it and what the Enlay version looks like, because I don't believe in a world where the guy just presses a button, AI does it, he takes it as is and passes it on. Right now, in the example I gave the Ottawa project before, we only really had time to do as many reviews as the manpower of the team allowed you to do, which was like 2 or 3 iterations, right? With AI, you can do infinitely more. However much you want to pay credits and that kind of thing, you can do a lot more of those. It doesn't change that you have necessarily imperfect information, and therefore a human still has to exercise judgment. Therefore, will AI read through all your contracts and your reports and your docs and your RFIs and all of that, and does it also have access to all your previous ones, so it's got some understanding of you? Yes. Does that change the fact that you have to go to your company and be like, here's what I want to bid because I think this will win us the job, but we'll also make money? It's still a human deciding that. You shouldn't be asking an AI to do that for you, because that's the core of what building is. I think that this risk profile makes sense to me. It's just that now, so at Vinci they call that the risk committee. I know other companies call it something different, but it's like the final decision meeting. Do we go, do we don't? What's our price going to be? What's our terms? At that meeting, it's a big committee. It's a room of people that agree on something through collective understanding. Is it better if you come in saying, I had an AI that did 100 scenarios and this is where we think it can land, as opposed to I had my team and they had time to spit out 3? Yeah, that's a lot better. Does it change the fact that humans are making a judgment on whether or not to take a risk? That's never going to change.
Mm-hmm, very cool. Also, Philip, so you're based in Boston?
Yeah.
You worked at Vinci before in France?
So I did my very first project was in La Défense, the whole rest was in North America.
Okay.
US and
But
Canada. You
have connections into
the
US market.
We have a subsidiary here.
European market.
Yeah.
And just US and Europe for now?
US and Europe for now. But honestly, the main focus and the reason we started in the US is for 2 reasons. The first one is I don't think people appreciate just how much riskier jobs are in the US, because the amounts are a lot higher. The culture is a lot more litigious. So I have a question for you. Do you know the average size of a construction litigation in the US last year?
No, but what I do know is something like the top 20 firms globally in law, in legal, by revenue, 18 of those are in the US.
Yeah, for sure. Same for insurance, by the way.
So what's the biggest?
All of that's the average size of a construction litigation in the US in 2024 is $43 million.
Sounds like a good business.
Well, for the lawyers. For the builder, it's unsustainable risk.
Exactly, yeah.
So we started in the biggest risk market because that's where the jobs are the biggest and the risk is the biggest. But I'll also say, ironically, if you look at the top E&R list, the biggest GCs in the world, in the top 10, there are no American firms. the largest builders are not American firms.
Wait, globally?
Globally. Internationally, There's a few American numbers, but look, you've got the Vinci's and the Ferrovias and all of those are international firms that do some works in the US where they are competitive, but not everything.
But mostly headquartered in probably
Europe is the main...
Europe, China as well, but...
So the largest GCs are publicly run Chinese companies, that's for sure. Yeah. They're at a scale that's unthinkable.
Yeah.
I say this because, therefore, construction is already an international market. The idea that there's a firm, now, of course, there's smaller and medium firms that work in a certain geography in the country they're in. That makes total sense. But the kind of customers we accompany, when, I talk a lot about portfolio management, thinking beyond one job at a time to your array of projects that are ongoing.
Yep.
That, for a lot of companies, is an international reality. It's not just in one geography. So we naturally grew because our customers were like, hey, I'm looking at this deal in this other country, can you help me there? So international first in the sense that we will accompany that. That doesn't mean we'll go in every geography straight away because, early stage company, you got to focus where there's most value. But I didn't want to be just a Contech US-based company. That's why it's taken a lot of effort for an early stage company to have a transatlantic footing, but we really see the value in our ability to accompany customers really quickly.
Yeah, nice. In your experience, my question was leaning on to what's your gut feeling on the comparison between the markets, US and Europe?
Yeah.
Like for a construction tech founder, selling into this space, for the kind of bars that you get, what's your gut feel?
I think Americans have always been stronger at what we would pejoratively call buzz, but communication in general. I think what's true in America, it's try fast, fail fast.
Yeah.
You can get pilots unlocked a lot faster in the US. They can also go nowhere. Unlocking a large European GC takes longer. So far, we have no churn because you put in all that effort, you show real value, there's no reason to. Whereas sometimes in the US, you have some firms that try everything, and therefore you know that there can only be so many winners in that kind of model. But when you're trying to prove out value, that kind of failure is also necessary. It's part of the regular startup process. So I think that there's a faster, more head spin pace to where when you're really early stage, which was our case a year and a half ago, we're like, okay, we're going to start stuff here, and then when we joined the accelerator program with Leonard, it's when we were like, no, okay, we think we have something that's enterprise grade, and we can start taking the slightly longer sales cycles, but stickier. So I'd say Europe is a bit more conservative, but stickier. America's a little more Wild West, but you can try stuff out there. Yeah. That's why I need a bit of both.
Yeah.
That's why I got a foot on both sides of the transatlantic.
The experience of both is actually invaluable in this context. Yeah. Okay, very cool. I think we might have some more time because it doesn't look like the next person is here.
That means I have to come up with interesting things to say now.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. Your advice to people in construction teams, construction companies, so you're buyers of technology.
Yeah.
How do they buy better? Not necessarily buy better technology, but as an organization, how do they buy technology well?
So, there's this interesting new role that didn't exist when I was a GC, which is the CIOs or the VDCs or the people who are more on the tech side. A lot of startups are under the impression that that's your door to pilots. I don't think it is. I think that there's so much noise and requests for tests and pilots now from the actual user that you need their CIO to know who you are. Because internally they get solicited so much, their first question is going to be, have you heard of these guys? Have we heard of whether or not they're good? Someone else used them? Sure.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that and this is where the Americans are a little bit better at this, that you get your name out there, people understand what you're broadly working on. When it comes to actually buying, you have to be open to, we had this problem actually in Canada where people wanted us to sign the same bond protections as a sub. And I'm like, I'm just providing a software solution that we can even just do on one project, one time, kind of easy.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You can't go through the regular procurement. But this, was something we had to, and they were like, oh no, every single thing we sign goes through this. I'm like, well, that's not compatible with the scale we're trying to figure out here. So there's, whether you have an existing avenue or you're like, maybe it could be worth creating one, a simple way to be like, I'm going to put basically the reason they want this is they want a cap on their risk, to speak of risk, right? They don't want to sign a thing and their credits will be $100,000 and I'll get my head cut off. They're like, okay, let's do a capped version of something that we can test at a certain scale that makes sense, where you can see ROI. It's not like the $20 a license thing I'm testing where after a few months you don't really know if it saved you anything because it's so small, but it's not $100,000 up front. You find something that makes sense at a local scale, and then you start there. And then you can expand to more if it works out. Being open to a slightly different procurement or contracting model for pilots, I think is essential. Because then when it comes to the contracts we sign, which are longer term, repeatable SaaS models, then yeah, you got to negotiate stuff and tweak. That's normal. But for the first bit, you're robbing yourself of the opportunity if you put all of that work up front. And that's something that's very different from their usual procurement models. Like we see sometimes on smaller companies, they've never negotiated terms on this kind of thing because it was always, I can't work with you if you don't do this. I'm like, well, this doesn't fit what we're trying to do. It's a slightly different model, but also it's less risky for you, so you don't need it. This is where I also think that as AI native companies in this space, we almost have a sort of educational component. It's like what the AI can do, but also what it means to buy AI or buy software. They're used to, the Procore Autodesk, I buy the thing that does everything that I have to use. No, we can actually adapt stuff. It's kind of the last mile delivery problem solved, because AI is adaptable, and we can actually do it quickly. That's new. Sometimes they're scared of it because it's a bit more upfront work. I'm like, no, I'm just going to constrain it to a really simple, less than 10-page thing. We found more openness than you'd think, because they don't have to put their neck out, and you can still get real value and show. The worst is pilots where you've been at it 6 months and you don't really know what came out of it.
Yeah.
We have avoided those
pilots,
like the plague.
Yeah, come on, man. Tell me your pilot strategy then.
Yeah, I mean, pilot strategy. There's no one-size-fits-all pilot strategy, but you need champions. Sometimes people are a little surprised by this. Hi, I want you to tell me who your pilot lead is, or your contract lead is. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Isn't that your job? And I'm like, well, no, I need you to tell me, if this worked, what didn't work. That requires someone to dedicate a little bit of time to be like, I'm going to give feedback upwards. We found that we come in with a big long list of things, of KPIs, of things that make sense for a pilot, and obviously they most often rely on us to give them how to think about that, but they choose the numbers. You could be like, that's a lot for a pilot. It's the only way where they can be like, there was a before and after the pilot. Because if after the pilot they're vaguely where they were before, that wasted everybody's time.
So are you saying that you're avoiding pilots?
No, I'm not. So I'm avoiding needing to do lots of negotiation up front while not having a standard fill out your name and sign here.
Okay.
So it's not an NDA, it's not a full contract.
Yeah, I got you.
It's a middle ground where it's capped and secure that can open the door to more really quickly. We bake that in there. But it also doesn't need to go through a whole procurement process. Because most people have a little bit of window to try things out, but on a project, everything's got to go through regular procurement.
Okay, your view on selling to the enterprise versus the project?
Oh, I love this question. So
I feel like I'm just firing you hard questions.
Dude,
now.
go for it. So we don't charge per project on purpose, because the whole idea of risk analysis is you use previous stuff and new stuff to get better at it. So I think this industry is a little too, it's very old school thinking to go, I do one job and then I do the other job. I'm a big proponent of this idea of portfolio management. It's this weird, I am an MBA, I have to use some bullshit terms sometimes.
Yeah, of course, yeah, you have to get your value from the
There we
MBA
go.
somehow.
But we really believe this at Enlay. Like, 96% of data in this business is not used. It's just sitting on a drive somewhere, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like, you could get really just basic insights that save you a lot of time down, but for some reason, because we do one job at a time, we reinvent way too many wheels way too often. That comes from thinking project to project. The beauty of the kind of risk that we help a company is that it sticks around no matter what phase of a project you're in, so it more naturally fits itself to this portfolio school of thought. So I am an advocate of going beyond just per product pricing. There's also another issue with product pricing, which is if you are solely an execution phase tool and you meet the buyer when they've already started building, if you weren't in the estimate, if you weren't budgeted, you're displacing budget.
Yeah.
That's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
You want to come in early.
Yeah.
So to me, it makes more sense even for startups to show, or at least engage the buyer before they put in a price, because then you're paid for. You're in the price for the project.
Yeah, you're considered, yeah. Okay, very cool. Okay, look, let's move on. We've got Philip Reed here from Vinci coming on in a second. Before we do,
Beautiful.
30-second challenge.
After Philip comes Philip.
Oh yeah, no, the French Philip to the British Philip
Exactly.
spelling. But
What's the
1
challenge?
minute, and you have to add to the Lego structure. You can't change what's already there.
I
We just need
must
to
add to it.
Yes, you must
And
add.
you said you're taking this in the train and it's going to survive the trip? Okay.
That's
'Cause
a separate issue, but yes,
okay, if
the
that's
game
the
is.
case, we have a structural problem.
Go for
Owen,
it.
Which is, you're missing some sort of pillar here. I'm doing some really expensive
I'll keep saying this.
structural engineering here.
I'm starting to notice two types of people so far. People that
Okay.
think very practically and are focused on like the foundation,
Yeah.
whereas people are more idealistic and creative maybe, who are thinking about like how cool can we make this thing look.
So, cool's great until it breaks down, right? So, oh,
Yeah.
there's already a little bit of a structural issue here. Huh?
Ooh.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Still on an angle, but now it's safe. It'll survive the train trip.
You done?
How long was
Okay,
that?
cool. Yeah,
Less
that
than a minute, I hope.
So what have we got now? It looks like a crane.
It does, a little bit here, you know, it swivels around, lifts it up.
Very cool.
We end up building towers. That's really all we do
That's what we do,
in this
yeah.
business.
Yeah,
Owen,
yeah.
thanks for having me. This was
Thanks
real
for
fun.
this.
All the best.
Free advertising for hyper autonomy.
Oh, okay, yeah. We'd have to charge them for
Not
that.
being paid for that.
All right, Philip, we're live, by the way, so
Brilliant,
we
great.
we can jump straight into this. I don't think I shook your hands.
No, sorry, yeah. Hi. Hello again, nice to see you.
Well, considering we hadn't met each other like even 3 weeks ago, this is
Yes.
like the third or fourth time I've spoken to you in as much weeks of time. So
Well, that's because, you know, we're just great speakers. You know.
we're getting shit done.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, Philip, your title, Head of Innovation and Transformation. Do you know what's quite funny? Like, when we put this together, because I don't know what happened, but like, when we got the names, it was being organized by the French community, your name came out as Philippe rather than
Oh.
Philip. So here we are.
I'll answer to that if you want today.
No, we're good. Head of Innovation and Transformation at Vinci Construction. Like, give us the 15-second introduction.
So yeah, Phil Reed, Head of Innovation and Transformation, as you say, for the UK division of Vinci Construction. It's a big beast, right? And had that role now for 3 years, which was created 3 years ago. And the main part of it is about trying to accelerate the innovation in those 9,000 people in those 8 businesses we have within that division, just to get them to do it a bit faster.
How many people did you say?
About 9,000 now. I mean,
9,000.
that's employees, right? So
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
yeah.
How do you do it?
I mean, I'm going to start caveat this by saying I don't think I've worked out the perfect way to do this yet, but I'm trying a few things, right? You know, because it's a constant moving thing.
Yeah.
But I brought it down to I think I can do 3 things, right? I can inspire people, you know, show them the really cool stuff and make them go, oh wow, wouldn't it be great if the AI did this for me? The material was so much better. You know, all those inspire people. And you've got to do that through stories, right?
Yeah.
Educate people, because there's a lot of people who just don't know what is possible,
Yeah.
right? And how to do it as well. You know, they might get really inspired about this idea of having a hole drilling robot, right, or a painting, plastering robot, like we've got one here today, and yet they'll be like, well, how the heck do I deploy that? So it's part of my job to demystify that a bit, make it easy for them, and then there's an element of support as well. You know, trying to help them on the big trials.
Yeah. You told us we got to use this thing, so now tell us how.
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And then I tell them how, and then I run away and let them do it, right? No, I try and help them as much as I can, but it really is about, you know, when I win is when I don't have to be involved, but something's happened. You know, I'm looking at Le Compagnon at the moment, so it's in my head, right? But, you know, I was so happy when they contacted me, I don't know, a month or 2 ago and said, hey, Phil, we've got Le Compagnon coming to site for 8 weeks to plaster this hospital. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really glad you didn't feel you needed my help to get you to that point. I mean, now they want the help, right? And so I'm giving them a little bit of help. But,
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course,
that's the real win, is when I don't have to do it.
We have to help the ecosystem, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just you sitting in the buyer's seat, but and you're not just like grilling these companies about like trying to make it hard for them to sell to you. Like, you kind of want them to sell to you and like show me what's possible. So then
Completely.
actually helps your purpose as well.
Oh, it's definitely a two-way street, right? And I start explaining myself to some of these companies here as, you know, think of me as like your reseller inside the company.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of that,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I've got to convince all these skeptics, some of them, and the people with the money that this is the right thing to do now for whatever reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Can you tell us about some of the technology at Vinci that you're trying? And by the way, we should clarify, like, it's Vinci Construction UK that your role is
Yeah, so
related.
it's the UK division of Vinci Construction, which is actually eight businesses, really. You know, you got Ringway, Eurovia, FM Conway, Taylor Woodrow, Vinci Building, Vinci Facilities, Editivo, JL UK. Then there's some joint ventures, and
I'm
then
glad
there's
you
a
remembered them
developments
all.
business. Oh, it's on road, right? And it does everything from highway maintenance, building maintenance, vertical construction, infrastructure construction, and also there's some material production in that as well, and highway construction.
Yeah.
And laboratories and testing facilities. There's a whole range of things that we do.
And what's some of the technologies that you've seen of recent times, which you're maybe trialing or have tried, that kind of thing?
I mean, the ones that, I caveat this by mostly what I talk about is robots, right? Okay.
That's exciting.
You know, when you look at it and you go, well, where could I actually add value? Well, actually, digital stuff has been around for a long time now. There's lots of people out there selling digital solutions. People understand it. They've got it. They don't really need help from a central team to deploy a new app for something.
Yeah.
Not mostly, anyway.
Yep.
You know, but where you've got, you really need a sunshade here, don't you?
But I was going to say, my wife's going to say to me, I thought you were going to a conference. I'm going to come back with a tan. She's like, no, I've just been in the south of France tanning for a day.
That's what it will
While
look
you
like,
look after the kids.
Indeed. But with the robotic stuff, it is difficult. It's not easy. You can't just buy it and use it. There's a whole change to go through. So that's what I've mostly been involved in. But, you know, the ones that are really exciting for me is the companions. That's been absolutely amazing.
So they're painting and plastering?
Painting and plastering now, which has been great. You know, that we did a couple of trials with them. Baobot, we did a hole drilling, a lot of hole drilling stuff. That was amazing. And the level of autonomy there is really great. One of the ones that I think is going to have such a massive impact for our business is Gravis, the autonomous excavator, guys. You know them?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they're not perfect yet. But you know, where they have got to, we're starting to really see value from it. And what I love about all these trials, it doesn't matter which one we talk about, the value that we see is very rarely the value we expected to see. So you take Gravis for example, right? You know, you think
done the same thing.
A driverless excavator, you think the benefit is in removing the operator, right? And you know, there's a safety saving, there's probably a productivity saving in that. And you know, there is, you know, their latest trials are showing a 22% improvement in productivity compared human to machine, right? Which is massive, and just in the optimization of it. But the benefits we saw was actually around the engineering and the accuracy. And even when you're depositing material, if you think about the normal process of depositing material with an excavator, you know, an engineer will come out and they'll give you a rough line and they'll give you some marks and they'll go, up 100 mil here, 300 mil there, whatever. And the excavator driver's then spreading that by eye, you know, because mostly machine control isn't used on the majority of it. It's the really big stuff, right?
Yep.
And they're doing it by eye, and then they won't get it 100% right. And then an engineer will come in and check it, and they'll say, up a bit there, down a bit there, and you won't be quite right. You know, we're talking by eye trying to do 0 to 40 mil. It's not really possible.
Yeah.
But with the Gravis system, because it's constantly scanning with the LiDAR the whole time, the guy got it right first time.
Amazing.
And you think, you know, okay, that wasn't what I thought we were going to get. And actually it meant the engineer was free to do other things. You know, catch some problems earlier, do some more proactive quality control. And those are the real benefits we see. We never see the benefits we expect to see. It's great.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? So you like effectively hire it for one purpose, and then something else comes out. Like, I suppose that's the beauty of innovation, right? Like, you don't really know, and it's why you have to do it, because like you uncover, you don't know what you don't know kind of situation.
And until you try it, you know, everyone will say to me, you know, why should I try it? And I'll give them the best answer I can at the time, knowing full well that after they've tried it, there'll be another load of things they discover that they weren't expecting. How do I convince someone that they will get unexpected benefits out of it? You know, we did some stuff with Cobot, plasterboard cutting, sheet cutting robot from Denmark. Absolutely brilliant.
Yep.
And what I was talking to the managing director of the business afterwards, and he said what struck him was, accuracy improved, waste reduced, all the rest of it. But he was watching the guys do it, and they weren't having to wear dust masks anymore to do plasterboarding, right? Because all the cutting, there was no dust. It was all captured. And he said to me something that stuck with me. He said, you know what that means? That means my supervisors aren't spending time enforcing dust masks, which is actually taking a lot of stress off of them, right?
Yeah, no one wants to tell someone to put the bloody dust mask on, do they?
People don't like it. And and it's hot and it's sweaty. And it just removed that bit of pain and allowed, and you shouldn't have to anyway. Everyone should do what they're told, obviously. But we live in a real world where enforcement is still a piece.
We're all human.
Exactly. And I was like, oh yeah, wow. I didn't, it's another benefit we didn't expect to see from it.
Yeah, I love that example.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, like, do you have any kind of insight or thoughts about how to like test robotics effectively before deploying them on a mass scale?
I mean, it's about, you've got to bear in mind that there's that bit about it's the known unknowns and the unknown knowns and the known unknowns and all the rest of it stuff. So you have to, the approach we've taken is to try and introduce it to as few different things as we can at a time. So if you look at what we did with Gravis, we said, you know what, this looks great. Let's find a field for a week and we'll set up a mock site. And we set up a mock site and we designed a load of trenches and we got it to do its thing. And we learned a load from that. But it meant we didn't disturb a real site. Then after we'd done that and that worked, we then took it to a real site and got it to do real work. And there were other things that were different. There was the whole, actually one of the funniest things with that was at the beginning when we were planning it, one of the site management team were like, how do we issue a permit to dig to a driverless excavator, right? I was like, I don't know. Well, how do we do that? And, we worked it through and it was easy, but we had to put in place this whole new approach to how do you control a robot. And we've now got a process of how do we deploy an autonomous piece of kit. But it's that trial. And we did the same with Balbot. We did the same with Cobot. It's trial it in a controlled environment, then a slightly less controlled environment, and a slightly less controlled environment.
Yeah.
So you've got to do that.
Small steps, gradual testing. I think then, like, I suppose you're kind of privileged in the respect that you've got access to a large field where you could test these things on. So actually, it puts more onus on like companies like Vinci to be the pioneers in this technology, so then it can naturally find its way throughout the industry. Yeah?
It does feel like a duty sometimes. Actually, it genuinely does. But it's not all altruistic. There is a bit here where if you look at our business, we are never going to build our. Well, I don't think we're ever going to. Maybe we will in some little way. I don't want to be absolute here, but I don't think we're going to build our own robots.
Yeah.
We're going to rely on the startups of this world to do that R&D. Now, if they only work for us, or they only work for competitors or supply chain partners, then they're only going to learn from a small pool. They're never going to scale. The cost is never going to come down, and we're never going to get the solutions we want. And then they go bust. It's genuinely a thing where that whole rising tide lifts all the boats bit, where you've got to support. And I wish other companies did this as well more. You've got to. Exclusivity is not a good idea.
Yeah.
You've got to just be open about trying these things, because it may not work for you. And I'm going to Gravis again, but actually, we actually found we're not the right partner for them at the moment, because we don't have the big earthwork jobs that they really need, right?
Yeah.
But I will talk to our competitors about it, and I will talk to others about it and say, hey, you should try these guys. You should help them, because it works, but it doesn't work on every project at the moment, because the safety bits you have to put in place and things. So, and it will in the future, but it doesn't at the moment. You need other people to try these things.
Yeah, that's very fascinating. You were talking about like collaboration, and I've asked a few people these questions because, like, I know like Vinci it's a French company, but obviously you're based in the UK. You focus on the UK market. Like within France, we see like a lot of collaboration between like the big guys, like Bouygues, Vinci being one of them, a few others as well. In the UK, I don't really feel like we have that. Would you agree?
We collaborate on safety stuff. Actually, we just did a collaboration that ended with Colas on looking at automating impact protection vehicles for highway maintenance. It was Innovate UK funded, so therefore that removes a couple of barriers. You don't have to have that commercial ownership argument. But no, you're right. We collaborate on safety things, but actually, no, we're not great at collaborating otherwise. No, it's true.
I think there's an opportunity there. And then also, like, you look at some of the people that are here, like, you've got, like, the International Contech organization network. Then you have like the Barcelona Contech Hub, who we spoke to. So you've got these organizations around Europe, and everyone's like, but the UK doesn't have one. And I'm like, damn right it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Maybe there's a new business opportunity there for you, right? You should do something. I mean, we do in the sense that we have I3P, Connected Places Catapult does a lot of bringing stuff together. Actually, Innovate UK, with their Innovation Exchange program now, actually are doing a lot of connecting people in the background. They're not very public about it, but actually, I talk to them once every month, and they'll be like, hey, this startup would like to talk to you. Could you talk, and I'll be like, okay, I need a company that can do this. And they'll be like, oh, you need to talk to so-and-so and so-and-so. So there is that, but it's below the radar a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, hopefully things will change very quick. Okay, nice. What's your what would you say is your gut feeling on how people can, other people in your position, how can they buy technology better? So is it, because I think that this conversation is coming up more and more between people about there's one side of the industry which are selling to these people, and then there's the other side of the buying. There's actually a skill required from both parts to be able to buy it well and to be able to sell it well. So what's your thoughts on buying well?
It's really tricky, and actually, a lot of reasons why we do those trials and those controlled environments I was talking about is not because it won't work when we put it in. It's because actually I've got to take our people on a journey, right? And I just talked briefly about familiarity here. So I don't know if do you ever see about this thing? I think it was in the 50s in the States. They did a load of research into what do you do to make people buy things.
Yeah.
And they found that the word new or novel made people buy things.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if you offer them something new, they'll buy it. Up to a point. And there's a certain point after which actually less people start to buy it because it's too new, it's too novel, it's too out there. People this is a humanity thing, it's built into the DNA apparently, that we like familiarity with a little bit of new. And therefore, if you're trying to sell them something that is very new, it's hard work. It can be done, but it's hard. So, you look at what Greenbuild are doing with Wienerberger, with the bricklaying, the block laying, right?
Yeah.
And the challenge with that is, and I've had this conversation with one of our operational team, right, who will remain nameless, but he said, okay, but they don't use the kind of blocks we use. I was like, no, they use a better block. It's new, it's great, it's amazing, U-values are wonderful, structure. He's like, yeah, but they also don't use the same mortar we do. I said, no, they use a better one, they use an adhesive. And they don't lay it in the same way we do. No, they use a robot. And it's like, and genuinely struggling to get his head around, that was too unfamiliar to him.
Yeah,
that was just really tricky.
Yeah.
So there is a piece where you benefit from having something that's more familiar and easing people in.
Yep.
And we had this conversation the other day with Unipart, their manufactured reinforcement system.
Yep.
Actually, brilliant. I love that technology. When they get it sold into the business, everyone's using it, it's going to revolutionize reinforced concrete.
What is it, briefly?
So it's, okay, so tell the story. 1890 something, I think it was, someone invents reinforced concrete. They put round bars in it, right? Okay. They worked out how to design it. The only change to reinforced concrete, the reinforcing bit, between now and then is when we started to rib the bars and we twist them to give it a bit of grip, right? Better bond strength, right?
It's innovation.
Nothing else has changed. Yeah, okay. When we design it, we design for the worst section loading, and we just say, oh yeah, repeat that across the whole length, right? Because it's easy. And we haven't changed the way design.
Yep.
And partly that's because it's actually quite tricky for people to assemble on site. You need to make it easy. If you take that instead of going, let's take some bars and bend them together to create the shape, instead take the shape in a sheet of steel and cut away all the bits where you don't need steel. Now suddenly, you're not limited to straight lines. You can do curves.
Oh.
You can do at this end of the beam, you can have a thin bit of steel. In the middle of the beam, you can have a fat bit of steel, right? That means you can reduce the amount of steel you need. Instead of go for, the guys will bend it on site, or even they'll just fix it together on site.
Yep.
And it'll be accurate to plus or minus 10 mil maybe, if we're having a good day. This is millimeter accurate because it's been laser cut and it slots together. There's no tying wire. So you haven't got trip hazards, you haven't got wire in the bottom of the shutter that needs to be blown out and removed. It removes so many problems. Actually, amazing technology.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But again, and actually one of their ethoses was, where they came from was they used the Henry Ford quote, if I'd asked people what they wanted, they'd have said faster horses, right?
Yeah.
And they went, no, let's start again. Let's look at it from base principle. She's done, it's great. But it means it's really difficult for people to embrace. It's very difficult. So we've actually been working with them on this concept of a hybrid, where you use standard reinforced bars for the straight bits, and use the laser cut for the corners, the edges, and the difficult detailing pieces. And we found that lands better with people because it's more recognizable. And I think over time we can then, bring people to the full laser cut steel.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So anyway, there's a bit there about familiarity that's worth talking about. When you talk about robots and equipment, though, and it was interesting you said about buyers and sellers, that's one of the barriers, right? How many tier 1 contractors buy their own equipment? Not very many. And how many smaller tier 2 or tier 3 companies will buy a piece of equipment that's more expensive than their van? Not very many. So you've got this disconnect of people who really want the technology. They need the technology, but they're not going to buy it. And what I tell to startups who are looking at this space is think about how our site teams, our operational teams and services or construction procure stuff now. They pick up the phone or they send an email and they say, I need X piece of plant with an operator starting next Monday for 3 weeks. And it will turn up and they'll have to do nothing else. And that's how you sell robotics. That's how you sell robotics. Operated plant. And you know what? The other thing, I've spoken to some of the companies who are doing this, Monumental are doing this.
Yeah.
And they said the other benefit is that they learn themselves. They haven't sent their robots off into the world and they get second-hand feedback. They're getting the feedback directly. They know what features to improve. And, when they turn up to do the trial with us, they brought a bag of spanners and they were tinkering with the machine a bit. They were like, we can optimize this.
Oh, I love that. That's such a good thing to think. I think there was a robotics company in US, Canvas Robotics, done drywall. And the founder, one of the co-founders, she actually learned how to do drywall herself, so that when they were doing pilots and deploying the technology early on, if something went wrong, she could just step in. I was like, that's such a cool story.
And that's something that people don't do. If you're going to build a bricklaying robot, for God's sake, do a course in bricklaying, or employ someone who has. Because I think if you don't, people look at, from the outside in the tech world, look at construction and go, well, this is easy because they've laid a couple of bricks maybe, or they've done an extension on their house, and they think, oh, this is easy. How hard can it be?
Yeah.
And they miss that. And on one hand, yes, putting a block on top of another block doesn't look hard.
No,
but there's a great thing about engineering. There's a great quote about engineering. I don't know if this one. A civil engineer, and I'm a civil engineer, so I'll say it.
You can say it.
I say a civil engineer is a person who can do for a penny what any fool can do for a pound, right? Because you've optimized it and you get it right the first time. You don't build it, let it fall down, and then have another go. And nice. that is true. And people don't realize that, yes, construction at its basic level is fairly simple. What was he talking about? Stacking atoms? We stack atoms together to make something.
Yep.
But actually doing it in a way that's cost effective, that's right first time, that's the right quality, isn't that easy.
It's the hard part. Nice, Philip. Well, great conversation. Let's get you into this challenge then. So,
what's this challenge then?
So you have 1 minute.
Yep.
And you have to add to the Lego sculpture that we're currently building.
This one here, yeah?
Which will end up somewhere in the Museum of Bricks and Bytes, yes.
Okay, how long have I got, sorry?
1 minute. I'm going to time you now.
Okay.
Go for it.
Go, okay. See, I used to love Lego as a kid. I think anyone who wants to be, or wants their child to be an engineer, should force them. Oh no, I've demolished it. Should be forced to do Lego because it teaches you how things go together. And when you're sat in those lectures learning about tension and compression, it does. I genuinely, I picture it in Lego terms. You learn what's strong and what's not, right?
Awesome.
I think that's so important in these things.
Looking good.
Can I join those two together? Is that the right height now?
Oh, I like the creativity. So you're a creative brain.
Yeah, I suppose so, right? At the moment, though, most of my creativity is channeled into communication, actually. How do I creatively communicate to someone? Similar to you, right?
How do important part of the job, yeah.
How do I show someone how to
do that? Look, perfect job.
Planned.
Very good. Nice, Philip. Well, there we go. That's the sculpture so far. We're getting there. Hopefully it's not too big and fits in my bag.
Philip, you have to glue it together. Thank you. I'll go put my hat back on.
It's an interview.
Yeah, we're going live now, so let's do this. Right, I think
My
we're
lieber.
back. Okay. Well, we had a small toilet and transmission break. I feel like we need a full roster of ads to play, like where we disappear, but here we are. And right now, Vlad, you've done such a great job of moderating the day so far and introducing the main stage. Yeah, I think we're going to have like 5-10 minutes with you. So could you just tell us, give us a little bit of an introduction to what you do?
Basically, I help Contech companies, mature Contech companies, enter the DACH, German, Austrian, and Swiss market.
Mature companies?
I beg your pardon?
Do you say mature?
Mature, yes.
Okay, so they have
the
to be-
ones ready to expand, as simple as that. Yeah.
And typically they're coming from US, Australia.
Can be US, can be Scandinavia, can be Italy, can be France. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
So how do they do it?
Let's put it this way: there are just two ways to do it, and it really doesn't matter. I was really thinking a lot about that. German market is not, or Austrian, special. So it's just like you need to do the homework, and you need to be ready. If you skip one of those steps, then something is not going to work properly. So as simple as that. Do the homework, be prepared, and do it good. As simple as that.
What about like cultural kind of barriers? Because Europe, obviously, like each country, I know you're focusing on DACH, but let's just use Europe as an example. Like different country, different language, different culture, way of doing business. Is that like an issue for people?
Yes, but again, if decision is made to enter the market, then you need to be prepared. Yes, there are some issues. But again, some companies are making decisions slower per se, some faster. But for example, the rollout is going to happen in German. Of course, you can speak in English, especially with the C-level, that's not an issue. But to roll out, you need German, and to provide support, it needs to be in German. Of course, you don't need your office in Germany, you don't need your team on the ground. You can have somebody doing that for you. However, you need to be ready for that. And I don't need to say your server needs to be in the EU. But
Yeah.
that's really absolutely something they don't discuss.
That's a great
But
deal.
that's the GDPR rule. You don't need immediately SOC, you don't need immediately ISO. Not immediately. You need to be in the process. It's very good, but it's not going to be a deal breaker
Yeah,
at
there's
the very
other
beginning.
priorities. How
Yes.
do you advise that people like learn about a market then before coming into the market? Like, you obviously, as a founder, you're growing your company, and then suddenly you think, I want to expand to Europe, and then they're like, okay, taking your advice, we need to learn. Like, how do you learn?
That's a very good question. There's so many associations. I'm a member of some of them, and it's not about the commercial. They can provide a lot of insights. They can connect you with a lot of founders. And then you should just decide what is the best way by connecting with people. And I think that's our weakness. Engineers, we're really not the best ones in connecting, and it's really not your technology, not your product, it's people-to-people business. So I think we need to work on that, mostly.
Yeah, are there any like particular things that, like in the DACH region, which are just like part of the culture, which founders need to get right when they're coming into the space? Like a nuance with the way the hierarchy works, or?
Yeah. Absolutely, it's all about hierarchy. However, talking about that, it's much easier to go to the headquarters, to find the right person, and to speak with the right person, and to be ready to fine-tune if there is a feedback, than to find anybody in a branch, maybe do a pilot, and then get stuck. So I think this is maybe the biggest issue people do. They're sending juniors, not even from the industry. They feel in the pipeline, and then you can see a lot of accounts. And they can even get the pilot, but pilot without the feedback, or pilot which is not really used, is not senseless. It's even destroying your pipeline completely. And I think this is some of the really things that people should avoid.
Yeah, I love that. Very insightful. Thanks. Oh, look, you wrote an article about this. I think that we'll do some coverage on Bricks and Bytes on this at the right time. So thank you for sharing that. People can learn like how to expand into the DACH region and use you as a channel for that. We have been doing this challenge with people today. There's some Lego in front of you. So we have a challenge. You have 1 minute timer, and you have to add some Lego to the existing sculpture that we're building here.
Absolutely.
In 1 minute, yeah?
Absolutely.
And I have to somehow transport it home, but we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, you can start whenever.
Okay. I
will
just
time
start. I love Lego. Check the time.
Yeah, you have 20 seconds. Are you like thinking about this, or are you just adding stuff?
No, I'm just adding.
I was wondering if you could give us a running commentary.
Yeah, I mean, you see. Now I feel embarrassed to say that I'm a civil engineer because this just failed.
Okay,
but
done.
But fortunately, you're not recording this.
We are.
I know.
And you're live, so the feedback.
Yeah, I know. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Love what you're doing.
Thanks.
Let's take a quick selfie.
Okay.
I hear you. You know Patrick quite well.
Yeah. Well, I managed to spend some time on stage with him this morning talking about
I saw it.
construction technologies. So I'm learning where he's thinking now. Okay, Reda, CEO of Factus. I'm excited by some of the terminology that you're using to describe the company. A neobank for construction, yeah? So give us a 15-minute introduction to you, then tell us, like, what's a neobank for construction?
I'm 39, I'm Moroccan, and my background is in financial services. So I spent 15 years doing that, banks, consulting, credit insurance. And I started this company with a friend who was actually coming from the construction sector. And what we are addressing is the fact that if you have a 2-year work site with 15 subcontractors, you have more than 50% chance that one of them goes bankrupt on these 2 years. And the reason behind that is that these SMBs, 1 to 10 million euros turnover, they sit on 3 to 4 months of receivables, and they do not have access to the banking system. So overall, if the banking pool is 5 to 6% versus more than 20% in any other sector. So overall, your subcontractors, the ones who are doing the job, they cannot access banking solutions. And the reason behind that is that receivables or invoices in construction are different. It's basically installments on the project, so you need to have them validated. There is a legal risk, there are different things. So what we built at Factus is the ability to actually underwrite these receivables. So we transform them into a credit asset, basically a real invoice that will be paid by Bouygues, Vinci. So you don't and we put them in an SPV or an institutional world. So we basically do invoice financing. So basically what we do is that we transform the receivables into cash. And around that, we actually built a neobank in the sense that it's a credit card, it's a debit card.
So you can actually use the money?
Yeah. So that's what we built.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So like, simple explanation then for someone in construction is you send an invoice, you have net 30, 45-day terms, something like this.
Yeah.
In between the time that it takes, Factus will underwrite this amount so you have access to that capital, despite the fact that it's not in your bank, has not been paid by your customer yet.
It's even easier than that.
And you can use the money for growth, innovation, securing more work, securing materials earlier to get discount, all this stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
If you are this SMB, you open a bank account at Factus. At the end of the month, you put your invoice on your bank account. We give you the money in 30 minutes on your bank account. That's how it works, and it costs you less than 2% of the invoice amount. So the only condition is that you use this bank account as your main bank, and we do everything behind it.
So where's the risk? Like, who's the risk? Like who is at risk here? Because obviously someone is like, say for example, the tier one doesn't pay, like, or goes bust. Like maybe tier one, maybe Zip wouldn't go bust, but there's troubles with sometimes trying to extract money. So where like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah. So you have different types of risk. The first one is obviously a fraud risk. If you fake a signature or something. Number two is actually a construction risk. So what you need to have is really the architect on the project to actually validate that work was done. You have another risk, which is that if you have 100,000 euros an invoice, you basically have a subcontracting part, you have some guarantees. So the amount that will be paid is not 100,000 euros, but it's rather 60,000 euros. And then you have a last risk, which is a debtor risk, which is does your project owner pay or not? And this is the technology we built. So we just take this 5 pages invoice, and we give you the money because we do all these checks completely automatically. And we bear this risk.
That's so smart. So currently you're from Morocco, based in France?
Yeah, I'm based in Paris.
And you are targeting which markets globally?
The first step for now, we're in France. The next 2 years we'll be in France. We really want to move to supply chain finance. So we're developing a solution for material suppliers, one for GCs, and after 2 years, I think we'll go European. The biggest market would be Germany, Spain, Italy. So that's the objective.
Okay, cool. And your target market is mostly the SMB right now?
Yeah.
SMB. Okay, yeah, that makes most sense. So you've raised like a crazy amount, 56 million euro round, which was end of last year, maybe. Yeah. That's a lot of capital.
Yeah. So that's the money we use to actually finance the invoices, and now we are raising another round. We're finalizing, which is our Series A. But yeah, the objective for us is to be able to finance up to 500 million euros of invoices, and so that's what. Yeah.
So this is the partly debt round, yeah?
So in total, we raised 70 million euros, 50 million euros of debt, and 20 million euros of equity.
Yeah, very good. And you're now raising Series A?
Yeah.
Closed?
Yeah. I mean, finalizing it.
Okay, so announcement coming soon. You gave us a nice teaser there, thank you. Okay, very cool. Nice. So you mentioned UK, Germany, Spa. No, sorry, you didn't say UK. You said
no.
You are targeting UK.
We might do, but the license that we have is European. So we might look at UK, but the immediate next step, the 4 or 5 countries that are next, UK is not one of them.
Very cool. How do you get this How do you get this in front of your customers? Like, what's the go-to-market?
Yeah, quite funny. So we have what we call deployed bankers. So it's offline mainly. So we hire people from the construction sector in different cities. They are in the construction ecosystem, so they know people with a good reputation, they know the material suppliers, they know the institutions, local institutions, and basically they create their portfolio of clients locally. And so our salespeople are kind of field sales, on average 45 to 50 years old.
45?
Yeah. So it's people who understand construction, because what we kind of forget, an SMB in construction does not like their bank. They speak a very different language, they have expertise, and they need someone who speaks the same language.
Yeah.
So what we do is actually that. So we almost don't do digital acquisition. So it's really construction specific acquisition.
Smart, man. Very cool. Like you are a fintech effectively, but targeting construction.
Yeah.
Do you go beyond construction one day?
There is so
Become
much
like
to
the
be done.
Revolut?
There is so much to be done vertically.
Yeah.
I think construction is probably 8 to 10% of the global GDP. and it's the least bankerized sector in the world. So if the first step is try to win, to build a global institution specialized in construction, but I think you have many other sectors that are project-based, SMB oriented. Like infra, like I don't know, aeronautic, like a lot of other sectors basically.
Wow, could do that. Fascinating. And how do you convince these people? Like construction is, I guess construction is very high risk. So people don't want to inject risk into like their other operation, i.e. their finances. So like, is it hard to convince people to move from like a high street, we call it high street in the UK, like a secure bank, big name bank, to a smaller like startup like you?
Yeah, but that's the crazy part is that there is almost no offer on this, so they're not leaving any other bank. I think 70 or 80% of our clients were actually bankerizing them. So everybody has a debit card, but you don't have access to credit. Nobody would finance your construction invoices. So there are very little banks who actually do that. And then when they do that, they do it for companies that are more than 10 million euros turnover, because what they essentially do is lend to the company instead of financing the work site or the project. So my answer is we're not really convincing our clients to leave their banks. We're offering them a solution and helping them to grow. And we're kind of the first ones to do it.
Yeah. Very fascinating. Okay. Lakestar and Fundamental as investors, that's quite a heavy table, yeah? Like, any insight, why those?
I mean, Fundamental specifically is a real expert in construction, and I think they've been with us since day one. I think we raised with them 2 months after we started, and they just understand the problem, this working capital problem. So they didn't get scared of the lending, the credit, but overall what they bring is global expertise, real problem solving, understanding in details, and always being there when we need them. So it's more than an investor, it's really a partner. Lakestar is also great. This is more to shape the equity story in the VC world, but overall it's also a very good firm.
Yeah, very cool. I like it a lot. Okay, cool. A few more questions. So, like, I think that it would be interesting to hear, because a lot of the companies like here are kind of focusing on like workflows within construction that are related to the construction operation. So like maybe some design, maybe like communication, or like project management, or some robotics as well. Like, how did you come across this problem, like within financial sector within construction?
Yep, it's actually my co-founder.
Oh yeah.
He had an SMB in construction. So he had a 3 million euro company. He wanted to do a roll-up. He was doing HVAC, so air conditioning, and he was actually working with town halls, with LVMH. But the way it works, that he needed to buy the material to install it and then to invoice it. And as he was growing, he needed to inject cash in the company, and no bank wanted to finance him. So he was injecting his personal cash into the company to grow.
At high risk too, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all a working cap issue, and the problem is that the asset in the middle, the invoice, is today not bankable. So that's what we're trying to solve, and our next step today is to actually move to material suppliers, to move to general contractors, and to actually be able to do this working cap.
Very cool. I love the solution. Okay, let's introduce you to the challenge then. So we have this Lego.
Yeah.
The challenge is you have 1 minute to add. You can just add to it, yeah?
To this one?
Yeah, you have to add some Lego pieces, and at the end we'll have like a cool Lego sculpture.
Pleasure.
Created by everyone here.
Good.
Okay, you go whenever you're ready. 3, 2, 1. Okay, very good. Did like, were you thinking about this, or are you just adding? Any intention? All good. All right, right on. Thank you so much. Good luck. I love this.
Very,
We got absolutely caned by the sun here.
yeah, it's like going to the south of Spain or something.
Yeah, that's what I joked with someone earlier. I said my wife thinks I come to a conference.
Yeah.
She figured I'd think now I've been to the south of France.
You come home and you're sort of you're tanned.
Yeah, exactly. Nice glass of red wine. A day away from the kids. Very nice. Okay, Özne, let's dive into this then. So, Head of Strategy at Birdsview. We'll get to that in a second, but quick 15-second introduction to you and the company.
So first 15 seconds about company, and then...
that's fine. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Åsne Odlandale. I'm Head of Strategy and Business Development in Birdsview. We're based in Norway. We've developed a fantastic new technology that aims to make it easier to prolong the lifetime of concrete in particular.
Prolong the life of concrete?
Yes.
So like this would be like existing concrete structures?
Yes.
That kind of thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So tell us about the tech.
Yeah, no, it's a tech that can actually see inside the concrete without breaking it. So we are able to find very specific information about the skeleton and the bones of the concrete, which is the reinforcement. And we can find that information, and we can also position the data in a 3D point cloud.
And so how, like, what do you do? Fire a laser at it or something?
It's actually based on ground-penetrating radar, GPRs, that has been around in the market for decades already. But with our smart algorithms, we are able to extract more data from the hardware and also position it with our 3D tracker as we go and as we scan.
Yeah. Okay, and so you mentioned something like put it into as-builts, did you say?
And no, as-built, well, very often, well, sometimes we do as-built as well, but I think the biggest use case for us, where we do the most projects, is actually renovation projects. So you might have an existing building or structure. It could be this one, Station F here in Paris, and you want to retrofit it, you might want to repurpose it, you want to change it and modernize it somehow.
Yeah.
But very often you start with such a building and structure, you don't have a drawing, so you don't know it. You don't know anything about. You start in blind. You don't know enough.
There's a lot of concrete here.
Yeah, there is a lot of old concrete all over the world. So it's a global problem.
Yeah. And obviously, so like when you're building around or on top of, you need to know what the existing.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is a really maybe amateur question, but how do you currently tell?
Today, before this technology.
Your solution, yeah.
Sure. Well. First of all, you do visual inspection. So you go around and you look for some changes, you look for some evidence somehow. You might also add to, maybe you know when the building was built, so you know have some sort of historical information about how they used to be building at that time. Mm-hmm. And maybe you sometimes, there are some existing non-destructive tools, but they're very time-consuming to use, and you have to be an expert. The data is really difficult to understand. And of course, you can drill a hole. You can see exactly what is built inside. But then you're starting to destroy the structure, and you have to fix it afterwards. So.
And plus, I can imagine, like, just in my view now, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like maybe best part of 20 columns. Like, doing that is extremely slow and labor-intensive, yeah?
Yeah, it's slow.
And so, okay, cool. So, like, your typical customer would be on the design side?
Well, at the moment we're both working with asset owners. They might not be the users of the technology out in the field, but they might be the ones to say that, okay, we need this information. So that they're the important stakeholders, but I think maybe our most important customer is the investigation people, the structural engineers, and also general contractors who are actually going to build and do the project.
Yeah, so how do you get onto their radar? Because it's quite novel, yeah, like a novel concept. I think the company's been around for some time. So
Yes, yeah, so the GPRs and ground penetrating radar has been around for many decades. But I think what we're adding here is the algorithms that are able to extract more data and to do the automatic sort of analysis part and processing part. So we're saving a lot of time there. And also combining it with a 3D world, so we can push the data into the 3D point cloud, and it's exportable and more BIM compatible, which fits with the modern world, and that's not possible in any other way.
Yeah. And how do companies find out about you as a company?
How do they find us?
Yeah. Because getting to the market is it's great to have a fantastic product, but if no one's buying it or using it, then.
And that's especially a bit tricky part being a startup. You sort of have to be all over the world. You have to sell it. So it's a combination of we are now in an accelerated program with Alice Dawn in Canada.
Nice.
We're with a similar program with Vinci here in France. We also worked close together with other general contractors, but it's also about being visible and events like this. Taking part wherever we can get in touch with the stakeholders.
Yeah, so a multifaceted, gradual kind of rollout in the market.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Sorry, I think you mentioned it earlier, but you're based where?
We're based in Norway.
Norway.
Yes.
But and you're selling into European.
At the moment, well, we started pre-selling our product because we've done projects so far. We've sold the projects. Now we're also selling the product so people can use the product themselves. We started pre-selling the product mid-March.
Is hardware?
Sorry?
Is it hardware?
Hardware and software in combination.
Yeah.
So we started pre-selling that mid-March this year, and so far we got customers in 8 different countries, in North America and Europe so far. So that's been an incredibly good start.
North America. Oh, very cool. So I've been asking people this all day, hardest market to sell to?
Hardest? Oh, wow. Actually, I'm quite tempted to say it's our own market in Norway.
Really? Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, we're a bit slow, and maybe we're so used to the oil and gas, and sometimes it makes it a bit too slow.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And where do you feel is we're obviously in France now. Where do you feel is the most exciting place for technology within this sector?
Well, we actually got quite a few customers here in France. That's really exciting for us. And what people have told me today is that, well, France has a very long history of construction. So I think they feel the ownership to construction, new technology, and this has really been a good place to get traction as well.
Cool. What would you say, in 5 years, your product goes? Does this become the norm on every project? And how do you get there?
A lot of good questions there. I think, first of all, 5 years. We see this as a global standard for actually collecting data about existing concrete structures. We also see that we've added a lot of features like finding air pockets, finding voids, finding technical conduits, plastic pipes with or without water. We also want to add robotics so that it doesn't have to be a human who does that. I believe that's possible within 5 years.
Oh.
And how do we do it? I think we just have to take one step at a time.
Slow, steady progress. Yeah, interesting. Okay, Osner. So we've been doing this challenge here. The challenge is you have 1 minute and you have to add to the existing sculpture. So I don't know, we maybe have had 8, 9, 10 people so far do this. So we're going to add to this and have the grand creation at the end. So.
Okay. I need to strengthen the foundation here, I think. The concrete foundation is not really good, is it?
Yeah, go for it. You take it how you see fit.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's a bit stronger.
The onboarding is a challenge for the first pilot. So we do that next month. We start with, by the way,
Okay. I'll leave it for the next one to finish.
You're done. You're reinforced. Wow, look at that. Practical. Yeah, how they do stuff in Norway, huh?
Sorry?
That's how they do stuff in Norway.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not quite. All right, let's do the... right. Maxime. Yeah, it's kind of hot. So
No, it's good. Actually, I'm just under the beam, so
you're hiding. Yeah,
good,
you know how to handle this stuff.
Yeah.
For us Brits, it's difficult. We're not used to this. Okay, look, Maxime, head of our R&D and partnerships at Bouygues. Like, tell us, 15 seconds.
So it's
can't hear?
you need to be a bit more loud for me.
Sure. So your role, head of R&D at Bouygues, yeah?
So exactly, it's head of R&D partnerships. So and we created a hub. So it's within the R&D innovation department. Okay, we have different lab of expertise. So we have the design to build lab that will cooperate anything from conception, like parametric, of course, BIM, digital twins, right? Also captation of when you want to retrofit a building, you want to use a scan to be able to off-site prepare all the elements to insulate a wall, for example. So that's design. And to build, because we have now a data connection between the conception phase and the building phase, we have one lab that connects everything and goes up to robotization, from what's now called physical AI, right? To connect so this is one lab. There is another lab named Energy Lab, where you have all the expertise based on the energy. So it's either to build like a energy positive building or how to retrofit. And we know retrofit is the biggest challenge we have.
Europe, yeah.
We have also the material lab, so working on all new materials. So of course concrete, so all the sustainable concrete. We say sustainable concrete at Bouygues Construction. But it also goes to wood, but also can go to all the new materials that help us to to reduce carbon.
Yeah.
And the fourth lab, expertise lab, is the built ecology that will focus on all the circular economy. Yeah. So that's our technical lab, and we have facing that we have different hubs that will help the R&D innovation, which is a central R&D innovation for Bouygues. So Bouygues Construction is around 11 billion euro turnover, and we are more than 35,000 employees all around the world, and we operate in 50 countries, right? But we have a central R&D innovation, and you have those those 4 different labs that I told you, but facing that, you have the hubs that helps the R&D innovation to be business partner. We have Scale 1, so it's a chantier at the lab chantier, so site lab, which is 30 minutes from Paris.
So it's like a site which you can experiment on.
Absolutely,
yeah? Like a real live terrain.
So because it came from our experience with innovation, we had like great innovation.
It works well in a factory, but put it in
absolutely. It works in your lab, works in your factory, and then you come on site. And how you do that? Because you have good connection with your site manager. You call them and say, hey, Frank, can you give me a little space in your site? I want to try this new innovation. And Frank is a nice guy. So the first time he tells you, okay, you know what? Yeah, you can go. Then you come, and what do you do there with your innovation, which is not almost completely ready? What happens? You will threaten 3 pillars, which is quality, margin, and delay. So Frank is nice once, but the second time he doesn't answer your call, right? So we design a proper place that started 2023, but we'll have a grand opening in September 2026. You're invited, of course. That's where we're gonna open. It's open to all the startups in the world, but not only the startups, the SMEs, also big groups. We have Saint-Gobain who tried a new facade insulation system there.
So it's like a sandbox for every construction company globally to go to.
But there we have like real site people, we have real material and real equipment. Like all make it real. And there you're welcome to fail fast.
Cool, yeah.
But with that, after fail fast, you know why you do fail, and know how you're going to be ready to go to on real side.
Yeah.
So that's our Scale 1 facility. We have our construction venture, capital venture,
Yep.
corporate venture capital. Yeah, we name construction venture, and my place in this is
it's complicated.
It's like 4 labs and 3 hubs, and my hub is a partnering hub, and my place is to connect the R&D innovation to our all our jobs all around the world, right?
Ah.
So my first job is to listen to what R&D innovation needs is, and what is an R&D innovation needs. It's something actually that our technical departments and our commercial team or our site team is not able to fix once on on a bid, because a bid is very short time, just one project. So they will do the best to deliver the best offer, and then of course the site team will build if we win the bid, right?
Yeah, something different.
But there are some needs that are not able to be taken by the site teams, you know. So that's those needs that we come back. We took at the R&D innovation centrally, and we build projects with internal expertise.
Yeah.
We are 35,000, so we have the people, right? But we are building also partnerships, and that's where I'm working. It's my external cap, right? To find the best startups, SMEs, big firm, but also academics and institutions to co-develop new products, new services, and I'm handling the management of the the LOE, the MOU, the NDA. But after you have all the co-development that you want to take care. So it's all the the committees. So I'm not doing all the committees, of course, but I'm making sure that we respect our delays, and then and I make the connection with our different labs and hubs. So yeah, that's it was a bit long. I'm sorry,
No,
but
it's
that was
great.
that was important for me to say.
Yeah. Well, it's complicated. It makes sense why you done this. So the question was 15 seconds, and I think you answered all the questions I had for you in that time. So brilliant answer, by the way. So that's very cool. So I find this fascinating because I don't know whether this is a normal thing for people to do, to offer this facility to the world, so people can come and test and use it. Like, do people have to pay to come and try it?
So the thing is, it's a platform, right? That we that is open to the world, but it's not a platform which is a source of revenue for us. We use it really to. It is our part to speed up innovation in our industry.
Yeah.
So what we do is people come to our Scale 1 facility, and we want them to come with their true desires, right? We don't want them to we tell them sky the limit. Don't come and say we don't know if you cannot do this. So we say in the best world, what would you expect us to do for you to speed up your access to the market?
Yeah.
And so they will give us a bill of spec. We will take this bill of spec and say, okay, if you want to do that, we need that. And this, of course, means the cost, right? And with the costs, they can either they can put this in their development cost, right? Or they can go to their investors saying, guys, you want me to access the market? This is what it cost me, you know. So. And we do like open book, right? There is no margin, no. We just do how much it costs to have a man doing, an employee doing that, and it costs this to rent this material and etc. And that's why, and thanks to that, the platform is also sustainable because it will be able to, to be operate. And we are very happy with the things we launched, and it's still a pre-launch. We had a very good reaction of the market. We have startups from, of course, from France, but from Europe and also from external part. We have, as I said, Saint-Gobain. We had Ilti also that came. And depending there are people who want to use us as a showcase. So come and look how I deliver on scale 1 as being, like a showcase to architects, clients, designers, engineers. Come and see what I do.
It's very cool.
Or we have also the black box. I want to test something. I want nobody to know, right? Because I want to do a market launch, and I want to have a blast, but in maybe 1 or 2 months later, or or there's still some patent I don't want to,
Is it mostly suitable for hardware then, like physical operation? Yeah?
Yes.
And September 26th, you said?
It's September 26th, we do the grand opening.
4 months, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I like this idea a lot. I have a question here about Inodura.
Yes.
You want to tell us about that? You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, of course. So Inodura is actually thanks for this question, because it's exactly how we want to positionate the R&D innovation at Bouygues Construction. Is that we have our expertise, we have our sites, but there are expertise that we don't have internally. And robotic is something very crucial for health and safety, for efficiency. So there are many things at stake on robotic. And Inodura, we identified them as being the right partner to help us to develop our own robotic application. Mm-hmm. So of course there is already many robotic on the shelf that you could use directly. You take them on the shelf, you put them on the site, you pay, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But there are still a lot of robotic application we would like to have on our site that we are not able to have because they are not ready. And that's where Inodura is helping us. They are our robotic agent, right? To help them they help us to take existing robots, so we don't build hardware ourselves. We take existing, like this, right? Yeah. We take existing bricks of robotic hardware, and they help us to put the software that will help us to...
like an integrator, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. So you guys are doing a lot at Bouygues. This is a total education for me. I was very unaware of all of the stuff that you're doing, so I'm quite in awe and fascination right now, and very keen to learn more about that. Of the 4 centers or hubs?
So there is 4 labs.
4 labs. Which one do you think will have the most impact on the construction industry?
Maybe you would like to answer directly if you think like classical construction industry, you think design to build, because you have all the value chain from conception to realization. So there's a lot going on here with the data, but also with you have all this, as I say, up to software, AI, how you will actually increase the efficiency, reduce the risk on site, so reduce the cost, higher the quality. So this is a very structural lab we have, but energy is also key. Especially now, you hear about that. So whether we are talking about the energy we use to build, or also the energy that will be used to run what we deliver. So it's key, and material. Material is kind of in the next frontier. Of course, we talk a lot about digital AI and stuff, but if you look in the recent years, there is a tremendous increase of new material, and it's just the beginning. We are with our academic partnerships we see the new material coming. Intelligent materials are coming. So it's it's very hard to say. And the final, as I say, Build Ecology Lab, it's also to put an end to this linear model we had, and to think it like being circular. So very difficult for me to answer one.
It's a simple question, but in reality, everything is so different. It's impossible
different,
to compare.
Connected. And if you remove one of the 4, your table is not stable anymore. We really need those 4 pillars to make it work. And of course, because my colleagues are hearing, imagine what happens if I say one is more important than the other. I cannot take this risk.
I understand. No worries. Okay, Maxime, let's do this Lego challenge. Right, so this is the challenge, yeah? 1 minute, you have to add some Lego to the sculpture we have going on here.
All right.
And that's it. You want to come now? No. 2 minutes? Okay, I think we got like 10 seconds.
Oh, that's terrible. Terrible what happened.
You can fix it. You can fix it. Did somebody break mine? No, not quite. Not yet. He's fixing it. Don't worry.
Fixing it. Yes.
We have a fixer.
Hopefully it's just. Oh yeah,
it's cosmetic. Don't worry, we'll give you some extra time to repair the damage.
Yeah, I wanted to actually express with my construction the fact that thanks to digital design, new material, you can really create crazy things.
Wow!
And
we have another creative person.
And that was my. I try not to break it again. I think we're. Oh dear. Yeah. Well, that's for the. Yeah.
Very good. I like it. We're getting there. We're getting some. Yeah. Okay, it's only a matter of time before it falls over, but we'll take that. Maxime. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we're gonna. Like we got Oleg now, so like yeah. No, okay, no worries. No worries. We keep going. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Take care. Okay, Oleg. We had to do lots of improvisation today because I think some of plans got in the way of the schedule. So here we are, slightly earlier than what we planned.
No worries. No worries.
Well, look. I mean, I am personally very excited to have this discussion with you. I don't want to ruin the introduction or anything like that. So look, tell us like what you're up to.
Well, first, I want to appreciate you having me here. And, well, I'm Ukrainian. That's the first thing. Born and bred in Ukraine, Eastern Ukraine. That's important.
Wow, yeah.
So understand, I will bring some pain point here to start with, but we're going to get to like, you know, to the positives later.
Of course.
But the pain point, imagine that I used to spend my childhood, I would go to the summer house of my grandparents, and that's in the, like maybe 20 minutes from Russian border. And it was occupied for like a couple years. So basically, so understand that my personal perspective over like, it's like mine is really tiny compared to many Ukrainians who've lost a lot more than me. But we are all losing something, and we are all going through a lot of trauma and a lot of pain. But important that we stay extremely, you know,
resilient
and creative. And the nature of Ukrainians, I believe that, you know, I have that joke that someday we're gonna need to put the monument for Putin on one of the Kyiv, you know, hills, because that guy put Ukraine on the map. Unfortunately, it wasn't there. You might have known about like Chernobyl, Klitschko,
of course, yeah.
Some boxers, something. But I'm proud now being part of the nation that is raising now, and that's like one of the reasons why I'm here today. And that's one of my missions, basically, why I'm starting that. I'm Ukrainian.
Yeah.
That I want to make that other brand now, especially when it comes to technology, because we've got a lot of government technology in Ukraine. We are well known in some areas of the IT development, like a global IT hub, and now we are getting better and better with the drones technology and robotics.
You must be the world leader in drones, huh?
Right now.
No,
I'm not the first one who is doing it.
Don't worry.
Okay, but so the drones now, and I believe the construction technology the next one.
Yeah.
Just because it's that's what I'm doing basically for like last more than a decade. I'm running business in America with all the resources and engineers in originally in Ukraine, but now in Poland, and now actually because of the war we have Ukrainians everywhere.
Yeah.
So
wow. So just to recap then, so like you're from Ukraine. Obviously there's some major political issues and war and everything going on there, and it needs to be resolved. And your mission, the kind of life cycle we see ourselves in now is that Ukraine, maybe before the war, was like a place where you could hire great software developers, the IT side of things. Now it's becoming the place where like defense tech is probably the most advanced globally, especially with drones, that kind of thing. And because of the amount of destruction and everything else that has happened there, the next natural step is for construction technology to come in. I like this, yeah.
100%. And what's interesting that school mentality, education, and experience is already there. That's what I'm doing, and I'm bringing now this ecosystem in Ukraine. We're building we call it National Contech Cluster.
Yep.
We're basically building ecosystem around the education, scholarship. From like even we have here some people who are recommending me to even get to like kindergartens to promote the construction technology.
Yeah.
But we've been really successful. That's a theory because I personally started NPO in education like 12 years ago, and we actually taught like more than 11,000 students for free. So we know there is a lot of potential. I mean, construction technology students.
Oh wow!
Not this, just something. It all started with simple stuff, like Revit and basics, but that was that. Now we are building this ecosystem based on that experience. Thanks to our global experience, like me, like doing business in America, and I'm bringing other companies who are operating globally with Ukrainian roots. I'm bringing here 7 startups from Ukraine.
You have here today?
Yeah, that's our stand.
Amazing.
Right here.
Yeah. Love it.
And these guys, I know the lunch, but...
Oh, so this is Kharkiv IT cluster, Planet, Kuvas, Extreme Engineering, VEC, Raccoon Gang, Power.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
So that's the guys who are actually, again, born, bred in Ukraine, have engineers there, and doing some fantastic stuff. So, and what's interesting, Owen, for you to know that I had this conversation maybe another day here, like with Estonian representatives.
Yeah.
They he's challenging me is like, bet who is going to be the first fully digitalized government in the world, Estonia or Ukraine? But it's true, Ukraine, it's really advanced, and the government you have in a smartphone, like everything you can do.
Yeah.
Open accounts, close accounts, submit something, taxes, like 5 clicks, anything.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm bringing it here, that we are building a system with that, and with the government, and we are now setting regulations, and basically establishing that whole thing. So it's shaping in a real, real terms.
I guess if there's obviously war is terrible, but if there's any good thing to come, it's typically after a war, there's loss of innovation. And I think, in fact, venture capital was invented because after World War II, there was like a ton of innovation happening, etc. So, so I can see the promise. How, what technologies do you think will be at the center or extremely important for rebuilding Ukraine?
Well, we are now developing. I'm in the steering committee of the European Commission AI office, and they have a program that's like AI for all the European Union for the satellite and the laser scan processing, then augmenting with the data from the field, from any pictures, field reports, everything, then adding to that the budgets and at least on a high scale, and connecting that to the urban requirements, and then even connect some community to that. So you have the platform that would actually first estimate damage and track it, and ideally send a message to the community. So here, that's your, block, let's say, or your, city, if it's a small city, and then let's decide what should go, first when it comes to reconstruction or something. We are doing it right now, and that's the first piece of technology that you need. So you need to estimate destruction first.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't know yet. That's a problem. We don't know yet how actually bad is that.
Yeah, because I think, I suppose, part of it is ascertaining the cost. I did some research, and I think there was figures thrown out of like $524 billion.
Yeah, but again, I cannot tell you.
No.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know, because I'm doing that. I'm helping with this researchers, and I understand that's still a lot to do, because we don't know yet. And as we speak, something is happening. Just like right now, something has been destroyed.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why one of the pieces that's just like constant satellite monitoring. That's what's needed right now. But what's the problem with that? It's a security, because there's some areas you better not actually share, not let anyone
not
to
now,
process. Yeah, not now. So, but that's a key thing.
Yeah. Do you get do buildings? Do you think that the way that buildings will be designed during the reconstruction will change because of like the modern day warfare?
100%.
Yeah.
Well, in Ukraine, it's already mandatory to have a shelter in a certain type of buildings, And I believe that's one component. That's a shelter. Let's say it's like when it comes to extremes, when it comes to like rocket attacks and everything. But what's interesting is that the way we operate buildings from the energy perspective, that's another component that Ukraine can teach everyone, because we learned how to survive winters with literally no power.
Wow, yeah.
And we've developed technology how to locally power and supply schools, medical institutions, like some critical infrastructure.
Yeah.
But with that, again, we are learning how to develop anything else. So there's a lot of technology emerging now. Not just drones. And drones, by the way, that's an interesting thing. They are just like, I love this term now, they call it dual use technology.
They call it what?
Dual use, like dual use.
Yeah.
To me, it was like a political term. So you can kind of raising money for military, but you're calling that a dual use.
Okay.
So sometimes they use it now when it's just like, because it's hard to convince public to found like whatever some defense technology, but we call it dual use because it can be
it can be repurposed to drop in whatever on top of whatever you need to. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I find it's like. Do you have any idea on like time scale for like construction? Obviously, we don't know when this stuff will end, but like based on current damage that's been done to the infrastructure and housing and whatever else, do we know how long this will take to get back to standards?
I believe, and I believe if we do what we do now efficiently enough and well enough, I mean, like this effort. That's why I appreciate you, truly appreciate you having me here, because that's about actually first, visibility of that issue, because someone is just pushing that, not someone, like common sense would tell you, right? So you push it until it's settled, right? You don't even think about it now. So if we wouldn't think about it now, if we would think about, it's gonna happen later, and then, we're gonna go there and we're gonna rebuild it.
Yep.
It's gonna take really long.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now, we're trying to build this ecosystem, inviting partners from all around the world to think about how we plan it better, how we get ready for that better, so we can answer this question, because it's really difficult to answer, but this good question. My estimate and my optimistic view, again, if we do it right now, it can take really like around 5 years. If we do it wrong, it can take forever, and then Russia gonna attack us again. So depends on us now.
Depends, yeah. There's a lot of stuff to sort out between now and then. So for the companies you mentioned earlier, is there a particular area or field that Ukrainian construction tech startups focus on?
Well, I personally co-founder of the company called Planet Incorporated, and it successfully operates in America and United States market for like more than 10 years already. And so the core was like BMVDC, but then we developed our own process, and now we call it Plan and Control. By the way, Suffolk and are one of the biggest clients of ours.
Suffolk Construction,
Yeah, so and we are doing a lot of our drawings for them. So basically, we are delivering drawings, coordinated layouts, and developing our software to manage the whole process around the data validation, how you get a drawing to the job site, how you get a drawing ideally straight to the fabrication. Ideally, and how you mitigate all that, all the risks and everything that's happening around. So that's me, and we've got a couple companies like that. So that's more towards engineering, and again, we're like from the BIM and VDC. Now going towards design, we are doing design assist now. We are helping SOM design and doing some projects now in Dubai and in other areas. So we are moving from started with BIM now towards design and fabrication, and product and the control on the job site, and developing tools like that. Other startups that we have here, so that's most of them. That's what we have in Ukraine. That's engineering, design, fabrication, and control. And we have others which are like around digital twins and facility management. And we have one that I'm proud of, is again about like dual technology. That's a company that developed it's been developing still, but it's already proven that the protection, anti-drone protection structures.
Protection?
Yeah. So we know how to build like really fast and cheap the protection on top of like any critical infrastructure that you think of.
Oh wow.
So these guys are here.
Wait, so what is this protect like? It's like a.
It's a net. It's a net. So it's a steel net.
And this is what you see like in the cities now, where they put like the nets over like.
They put this like fish nets now.
Yeah.
But it can protect from these light drones. You know, they just get stuck in that. But what these guys are developing, they are developing really like steel nets, and they are doing like they are modular, so they can supply you, and then you can just build anything from that.
Wow. This is completely new to me. So then, like, it would be like a system that you would like push a button and it would come up.
Not that yet.
No, okay, yeah.
But for now, it's just like so understand why it's important for that to be modular, because imagine if a drone hits, right? So if you replace one module, so one piece, one puzzle, right? So that's just fast and easy. But if it's like a solid thing, that means that you need to replace everything.
No way. Hey, how about robotics? Because like we saw some article recently that I think I don't know if this was true or not, but apparently Ukraine launched like a complete offensive with just a robotic autonomous army.
Yeah.
So then that kind of signals to me that maybe they're very advanced within robotics as well.
You see, I'm smiling.
Yeah. Tell me more.
That makes me proud of as Ukrainian, because like maybe a few years ago I saw that myself. So
you sold it?
Yeah, I saw it. Not sold it, but saw it. I mean, physically, actually, had in front of me. So that's impressive.
Yeah.
So these machines, there are two functions. One is that's to actually evacuate. It's a simple machines. That's just basically like 6 wheels or 4 wheels and just something so the person can be evacuated. But there are some sophisticated machines where that's basically that's almost like a Terminator, but not with the legs. That's really scary. So it has eyes, really.
Yeah.
It has way more sensors than any human. It carries a huge gun, and it can go through like any terrain and everything. So that's an extreme machine. And why I'm smiling? Because it's saving lives.
Yeah.
Because that's the most important. Because that's a crucial now. And why it's interesting that I mentioned this dual technology, right? Is that imagine what we're gonna do with all that after the war, because these robots and these companies and these engineers, they're out there and producing this like now at the phenomenal scale. That's why I love that you mentioned that whole investment and everything was born after the innovations became available after the Second World War. So that's a thing. The same thing here, people.
I think it's very exciting. It's hard not to get carried away with like thinking too far ahead. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to sort, but I think that the opportunity out of Ukraine, like when this war has ended, is like there's going to be no better place on earth to like trial the technology, to have the technologies, building the technology, the general kind of buzz for people wanting to do business there and bring it up. So like, whilst you're in the thick of it now, the future is touch wood.
Well, I want to add one thing that I'm trying to carry this message here, and that's based again on the drones that you see and this robotics and everything. And you're right, but you again said after the war, and I'm trying to. What I'm doing here is trying to start it now.
Yeah.
And again, that's the point. One thing that I want to, and I want to be really, decent ambassador of that brand that's emerging now, in my opinion. That's technology that is made in Ukraine, or like made in Ukraine technology, whatever. So that's like started with the drones and everything. But I know, again, to your point, that war and devastation, destruction, and everything that it's happening now. So that was I was delivering here on the speech. That we have no time to wait. We have no time to wait for someone to come or for an investor or something. We need to go there and save people, save our lives, our friends, family, and try to protect ourselves by any means. And creating this technology is like one of the greatest that we have now. So I'm truly just yeah, because again it's in my heart. I'm thinking that and feeling that now is the moment to look into technology in Ukraine, not later. Later there's going to be everyone, but it's never good when it's like the crowd is going there.
Suddenly, like with the AI hype,
it's going to be a lot of folks, a lot of huge corporations, a lot of huge whatever, just going there and just playing their game. Then we might lose opportunity again to first actually acknowledge this, and then what I'm really worried about, we can then lose opportunity to think about what Ukrainians need, because all these companies are going to bring their money and technology and everything, and they're going to start doing something that they're doing here, or in America, or in Britain, or whatever. So, but what I'm doing as well, so I'm trying to build an ecosystem where actually Ukrainian nation and community is heard and their opinions considered when they're building this. So that's not just, so it can be disconnected.
This is what we're doing here.
That's what you're doing, right?
We can help
that's what you're doing.
I love the mission, seriously. Like, it affects all Europeans. I have friends, now you telling me of stories of when they were living in Ukraine, now they moved, or what, like you saying with your grandparents' house in eastern Ukraine, you can't be there. There's like devastation on the news all the time. We're lucky we're away from it in this western part of Europe, but doesn't mean it doesn't impact us, but not to the scale that it impacts you. So to have someone like at the forefront of that mission is very inspiring, so I appreciate the conversation.
Well, appreciate you having me, Owen.
Come on, let's do the challenge. You already destroyed the tower, so you have to, well, talk about rebuild Ukraine.
What
so the challenge is 1 minute, just add something to the sculpture, yeah?
For 1 minute?
For 1 minute, and then you're done.
Okay. I will try to rebuild something.
Go for it. Live, yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, you're going high? Very good. I joke that I have to try and get this back on the Eurostar somehow to London, but
okay.
I'll take a picture and let you know how it goes.
I hope it survives.
All right, done.
Okay. I'm good.
Wow, Oleg, man. Amazing interview. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, well, it looks like we haven't got anyone else coming on the live stream for today, so thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the improvisation that we had to do because it's been a busy kind of event. But look, lots of diversity of conversation. I personally feel a lot more excited about what's going on in Europe right now. It was good to learn, and I hope you took a few things away from this session. Hopefully we'll be here again next year, but if not, we'll be back in Paris in 2 weeks doing something similar with a few other companies. And hopefully you'll see us doing a few more of these live streams across the globe for the rest of the year. Thank you guys.